welcome to the Bunsen Burner podcast. This is episode 65, and we're here with Dan and Fred, blah, blah, blah. But...
Hey,
what do you mean blah, blah, blah?
yeah, what the fuck does that mean?
I'm feeling sidelined.
Same old thing. But...
Wow, rude.
I guess change it up. Mac is back in full form.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's never been on here, but he's been everywhere else. And we're glad
Hello.
for him to return.
To the internet, yes. It has been since around October when I had a nervous breakdown.
There you go. Your head really hurts? No, just kidding.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. We missed you.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah, your presence was noticed with all the Hessian Scrum episodes.
Yeah, you were one of my favorite Hessian Scrum characters.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. That means a lot to me because I mean, when we did those, it was a huge. It was a lot of fun and a little bit of work, but yeah, I just kind of had to pull back from everything and reassess my situation, considering I turned 30, and you start looking at everything in your life like, what am I doing? But then, you know, you come out of that and realize, like, that was just bullshit. And all of this stuff is important to do.
Yeah. And, like, yeah, just from your presence on there, it was like you were just always so, like, on top of it. Like, Nick would just be like, all right, Mac, what's the background on this band? And then you would go into, like, even more details and, like, guesting members that would, like, later play live on that stuff.
I get rather autistic when it comes to any of the music that we all listen to, especially obscure death metal and possibly some black metal. But it's just, I like to get into the weeds of it all. You know, it's something for, I guess, my mind's ever restless, and it just likes consuming and disseminating information, and so I'll get a hold of like a band. Like right now for me it's Confessor, and I'm really like delving into interviews and just really obscure esoteric information that I feel is actually important.
I mean, it's all there,
Yeah,
you know, and then for someone to actually culminate it together, and people are always interested in this stuff, at least the few people who are, and you know, the more you know and the more that you gather in one singular place is like great, because there's things like, you know, Terminus and Hessian Firm, as well as you know, Occult Abyss at times when they're doing interviews, just having that outlet and there's an audience for it.
I think that probably
sure.
one of the most important aspects is there's so much that of what any of us do or try to do musically is we're trying to kind of do our own thing, but at the same time invoke a lot of that past old school type of sound. And this is important to like knowing all of this information, or as much information as possible. I mean, that's what Mortal Kombat 3 taught me. Is like there is no knowledge that is not power, and so a lot of it is power in order to actually be as legitimate in my mind as possible. Like one of the things that I got that I really poured over for a while, and I suggest to you guys too, is the Scott Burns book. It's over the 10 years he did at Morristown, and there were some things that were disappointing because it didn't go into as much detail as I would have liked, but it does go into a lot of detail. And it's over many bands. Like I didn't even actually know that he did, or he had worked on Voracious Contempt by Internal Bleeding. That was actually kind of surprising when that came up.
Yeah, you wouldn't figure that. I know he worked with a lot of like bands, even, you know, outside of the U.S. too.
Oh yeah, like
to mix and master shit.
Sepultura was obviously like one of the first one and the biggest ones because he literally flew to Brazil to do Beneath the Remains, and then they came back to do Arise, but then the mixing went to, I think, Andy Wallace, and then when Chaos AD happened, they wanted to do the entire album with Andy Wallace, and that's how Scott kind of lost Sepultura, but yeah, no. What's interesting is actually, funnily enough, the voracious contempt by internal bleeding. That whole section of the book, that is not a like happy section of that book. Chris Pervelis was not happy with what went down. Yeah.
Why was that? Because that was like, what, 95 or probably 94?
It was 95. It was 95. I'd have to go back and look at it again, but I think it just has to do with they didn't want to use Scott Burns.
Damn.
Yeah. They didn't want to sound like those bands, and in a way they were kind of right, because everybody said like, oh well, Internal Bleeding is just a Suffocation clone. They're just trying to sound like Pierce from Within, but just more thuggish and with not as much complex songwriting or nuance. But I started listening more to Internal Bleeding lately, and I just that's just not true, and it kind of pigeonholed them for a second. But thankfully they did Extinction of Benevolence, which was insanely heavy and a little bit different, and that kind of furthered the whole slam genre. I was just surprised that Scott Burns even did a slam album, because it just doesn't seem like something he would have been associated with.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, but yeah, no. In general, I just think that all of the information that can be found out about a band should be found out, and I even go so far sometimes. And I've had good results for the most part. I try to reach out to a lot of the these people that have been in these bands that we've all loved. Like I've reached out to Mike Smith, Daria Durna, the Hoffman brothers. Let's see, Roger Zombek. A multitude of people over the years, and then even like more obscure people and people that are more contemporary now. And I just, well, I guess it's just something that people shouldn't necessarily be afraid to do. Always be respectful about everything, but it's sometimes necessary. I call it doing your homework, especially with the problems that I have with bands coming up now. In doing their homework is not. I had kind of a very typical progression when it came to metal. I started with heavy metal, and then, with Black Sabbath, and kind of it progressed in literally a natural format. I went from, heavy metal to thrash metal or speed metal to doom metal to death metal to black metal, and then,
Then you got the new metal. No.
No, it was. What's funny is. Back when I really got into metal when I was in 8th grade, and if I'm talking too much, stop me. Let me know.
Mac, you can never talk enough on here.
Oh, okay. So when I went to Catholic school for the first from 1999 to 2008, it was 9 years, and when I was getting into metal, we still had dial-up, so I didn't really think of the internet as being a viable option of learning anything. So the other thing that we did have is my family had a TiVo, or a DVR really, and I would look up things on VH1 Classic, and I would just start learning, try to learn as much as I could about it through that. And I watched this documentary called Heavy, the Story of Metal, or something like that. And it came out in 2006, and it kind of goes through the beginning with Black Sabbath all the way through into nu metal, and they kind of ended with what they kind of called American heavy metal, which was Slipknot and stuff like that. But it didn't paint a picture of nu metal being very good, and so I kind of knew from a very young age that this was not
not true.
Exactly. Yeah, it was not metal.
Yeah. More pop.
It was for a consumerist audience. It wasn't for people that enjoyed hobbies like D&D anymore, or, you know, Conan the Barbarian. It was more for, like, white trash kids in trailer parks who were pissed off at their dads.
Yeah, people that were going outside to play.
Well, I mean, I did that too, but, you know, I'll tell you what, I have an actual experience very early in my life with nu metal that kind of shaped my, I suppose, prejudices, which was, I was at this guy, Keith's birthday party. If I could try to paint a picture of Keith, Keith was like a truly just mutant of white trash. He had like a limp that he walked with, and he had a fucked up arm, so he had to keep up like his left arm all the time, like a T-Rex. His other arm was fine, and then his face was just like, I haven't seen him in years, but I still remember it was just, you know, he wore glasses, and I mean his name was Keith, so he was already operating from birth at a disadvantage. But I was over at his house for his birthday. I think it was his late 90s, early 2000s. And I was playing Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, or 3. I can't remember. But one of the things that he got for his birthday that he was so looking forward to was Limp Bizkit's Chocolate Starfish album. And he puts it on. Now, at this time, I didn't know anything about music. But when he put it on, I had these like very kind of instinctual feelings that I needed to get away from it, and immediately wanted to go back to playing Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, both those limps were throwing you off, huh?
I've never thought about that. Yeah, that's yeah. He was kind of like a dangerous kid in the neighborhood. He was a little bit older, and I just played with anybody, so I didn't really put together that I have no idea what he's done now or where he's gone in his life, but, you know, he's definitely a weird dude. But, yeah, no, it's even then I recognized that I did not like that music. But on the flip side of that, I'll tell you something a little bit more topical, and this is kind of weird. I would... my mother would kind of drive me around when I was around like 8 years old, and this would be around 2001, 2002, and you'll find out why I say this is topical. She had that that Crazy Town CD, The Gift of Game, and she would always have fucking Butterfly going.
Oh god! I used to have that CD.
Yeah, well, everybody had that CD. I mean, that's
Orange County.
I had it because I liked that song, and I listened to the rest of it. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, it's horrific, and you know that guy's dead. I mean, Shifty Shell Shock. But the one thing that he left us with, and you guys should check this out. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Months before he died, he decided to go to Norm's Rare Guitars. It's up in the Northeast. And they kind of like assembled a little like just kind of band at Norm's Rare Guitars, and it's one of the weirdest videos I've ever seen in my life. It's like it's like a young dude on an acoustic guitar, and then two other older dudes on acoustic guitar, and then the owner of the store holding a giant Godzilla vinyl figure, and the now 50-plus something year old Shifty Shell Shock rapping with no teeth. It is one of the wildest videos I've ever seen.
Teeth get in the way.
It is like, yeah, that video was something. I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was just roasting him, like saying "gum gum, my lady," or like,
I think we have something we need to put on the thumbnail for this episode.
That
toothless guy. Shifty Shell
God.
Shock.
I'll source some screen caps for us.
Shifty Shell
that
Shock.
guy on Instagram with the tiny teeth. That kid with he looks like Gollum or something. And he like reacts to videos. He's like, "Why you doing that for, man?"
Wait, oh, are you talking about Cyrax?
No, not Cyrax. He.
Okay.
It's like some younger kid. He's got like little tiny teeth. He looks just like this guy.
Okay. Well, I mean,
No, Cyrax is really kind of frightening looking.
oh yeah, I mean that's just if we went into lolcows, I mean we would need multiple days here. I mean I know way too much about that shit. Like I was just watching King Cobra JFS content before we were doing this.
Is that the new one?
Well, no, King Cobra's been around for a very long time.
No, I mean, was that the new Boglum Chronicles video?
It wasn't that. I was watching saturated content, and he was just talking about how boring it is that he's now in that trailer.
It is boring. I haven't been paying attention much.
It's horrible. I mean, people had this really good statement about an apartment, which was like, this is so interesting because it's like the same thing that they said about The Shining, the movie. For Josh, that apartment was like another character because he could interact with it. He could be in the foreground or the background. With the trailer, he's just sat down in the chair, and I don't know who. Yeah, I don't know who noticed this, but he hasn't left the trailer since he's moved in. So he's just like entombed himself like the cask of Amontillado, but he's living there.
Yeah, they said that what's her name, Jessica flooded the laundry room or something.
Oh yeah, I saw that shit happen. And the thing is she is like the living embodiment of what the real idea of a succubus is. You know, something that's not beautiful, that's just going to absolutely destroy your fucking life. Because she's not a good person. She's done some pretty awful shit, like that shit where she doxed like a 15-year-old girl because Jessica and that girl's mom got into an argument at Home Depot. So she doxed the mother's daughter and put all of her information on Craigslist. And so that mother's daughter just gets bombarded with creepy dudes like trying to like sleep with her, and you know it was just some. I don't know if she got in trouble for that, but it is now online, and Josh is always like, you know, fuck sickos, but this is truly a sick thing that she's done.
Yeah, I saw that covered on the Snake Bones episode. That one was pretty good, where they just cover all the Jessica stuff.
Yeah, that's not what's up, Tubes.
Yeah, no, I'm still trying to get through Cobra-isms too right now.
Yeah, those are really
because it's
that's
almost
lighthearted.
I know, and we also everybody wants Chauncey back. I don't know if you guys know this. I was on oh god, what is that fucking channel? You know that channel that posts like the all the really cringy bands and artists, something youth or something like that?
Catatonic Youth.
Catatonic Youths. I was on one of their videos, and Chauncey made a comment because he knew this one dude that was a drummer who has like this ridiculous drum set in one of the videos. Well, I go to Chauncey's YouTube, and Chauncey has playlists of this old school death metal video zine. Like a whole playlist of this old school death metal video zine. So he's like he's on the level of like knowing a lot of that shit, because I didn't think anybody else knew about that video zine. It's pretty interesting. It's I think the guy John Verica used to make them.
Is that the one with Revenant on it?
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen that. Yeah, I've heard that Chauncey likes death metal too. I forget who brought that up. I think it might have been the death metal shitposting guy on Instagram.
Okay.
He's all into this stuff too.
Yeah, and he had to bow out of the Cobra shit because it probably was just getting too much, which it can be. I'm not like some of the hate watchers who actually makes it through those 5-hour videos, and I'm not subscribed to Josh, But
Yeah, I can't watch
I
that
do.
either. Boglin Chronicles,
No.
I'll just stick with that.
Yeah, and bless those guys for whatever they're doing, because that's a job. That's like a vocation. It's thankless work.
Yeah,
is
I
what
know
that
the Hate
is.
Bus was covering that stuff too at some point, but they, I think they just got tired of it, sifting through all the live streams and things.
Well, it's like Geno Samuel right now. He's taking another break, I think, from doing the Christian doc, because he had just made it to the prison saga.
I don't really know much about once he got arrested. After that, I'm pretty much like out of the loop.
Well, here's what's funny. When he went to prison, he basically proclaimed himself to be Jesus. There were a lot of people corresponding with him in prison, and there's a lot of letters out there, and he claims all of it's bullshit. The case was thrown out, which I'm still shocked about. I don't understand how that happened, but he's a free man now. He doesn't live with his mother, we don't think, but he does have maybe like what he construes as a girlfriend, but what might be a caregiver. But he goes different places. Like, this one dude caught him in an airport, and he was like, this is so funny. Chris was incognito, so like all the wild clothing that he wears normally, he tried to like make himself look like a normal human being. And this guy comes up to him with like his phone down at his like waist, and Chris says something like, "I'm not engaging with you right now," and the guy just slowly walks away. It is so funny because like you could tell this was seconds away from like a fucking blow up.
Don't call money.
Like, nothing was said. Like, the guy just came up, and Chris was like, I refuse to engage with it. And then there's been people that have, but yeah, like I said, I'm a caregiver for my grandmother, and if all that shit really is true, I don't know what I can say on the internet, but it's just like I would run over him with a steamroller.
Yeah, I know people were trying to be like really nice to him right before any of that stuff came to light. I think what's his name, Count Dankula, had done like an interview with him, and he was kind of indulging his delusions about like the interdimensional shift or something like that.
That was years ago. That's a long time ago with the Count Dankula, though. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he still has a group of people helping him. I think that dude Null or something with Kiwi Farms, and then there's people that help him sell shit to keep him afloat. It's very weird. I mean, he's had people that he's smoked pot with. He has, he still does live streams and shows people his fucking Minecraft world. And I still don't get how that case was thrown out. I mean, it's really like it just came and went.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's because what do they consider him, like mentally unfit to make decisions or something? If that's the case, then wouldn't he be locked up in like a
mental institution
or something like that? Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I'll break this down because I broke this down for when that happened. My bass player's dad is a police officer, and this the whole case legally stumped him because here's how this goes. Okay. So incest legally is defined as being illegal if it's in the interest of procreation. So a father and his daughter, or a mother and a son. Alright, well, because Chris identifies as trans, Legally, it would have just been like a fucking minefield, because then, there would be people coming out to say like, well, no, she's a woman, so legally she must be regarded as a woman, and so this is not treated as incest. Okay, that goes into the second area, which is Barb is in her 80s. So was this a type of rape
abuse.
or elder abuse? And then there's the flip side of it, where if Chris is autistic, does Barb actually have any fault in it if she's not actually doesn't actually have dementia? So it's like this fucking minefield.
Yeah, not so cut and dry. As
No.
people online would like to make it think, you know.
It is the exact polar opposite of cut and dry.
It's a very detrimental topic.
Like, it would be like, you basically just need a pair of dice to throw, because there's so many variables. Like, the judge might as well, like, throw some D&D dice down just to see what the fucking result would be, because it's just, like, very strange. Like, we were coming up with incidences where both of them go to prison. Barb goes to prison, Chris goes to prison, and then none of them go to prison. I guess that last one is what happened, but still, he tries to maintain that he didn't do that, but you can see, I remember that one just so ominous video. It was a dude, funnily enough, saying he was Judge Holden from Blood Meridian. He had paid like $1, and he was talking about how, I have the picture somewhere, but basically that he knows and Chris knows that we all know the truth, and you did this to your own mother, and here's $1, you sick piece of shit.
See, the way we usually excuse ourselves, we're like, oh, this is a metal podcast, so we can talk about disgusting things sometimes.
Well, I don't know if hopefully we got past a certain time. Yeah, if you guys need to edit this episode, I apologize ahead of time.
We keep everything in.
Okay.
No, we edit them, but we don't edit anything out.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, no,
yeah, so basically all topics are on the table.
Okay, that's good, because it's just there's so much that I talk about. One thing that I like to do with my bass players, I like to get them on Discord and then stream my YouTube and just show him videos I think that he needs to see, because I can't live by myself being the only person who's seen them.
Yeah, you got the captive audience.
A decapitative audience. Yeah, and these are just things that you can find on YouTube, and they're just like a couple keystrokes away, but it takes a while. And I've found some stuff that is pretty aberrant. It's in my favorites. All right, I've got my phone in front of me, so I can actually just look through that way.
Yeah, let's discuss the audience, the listeners today, so they can look this up too.
I don't. Well, all right. So the top one of my favorites list right now, the one I discovered most recently that I added, it's a video entitled HAL 9000, the robot from 2001: A Space Odyssey, discovers shitting and farting.
What?
That's the title of the video.
Discovers shitting and farting?
Yeah, but the internet meme of shitting and farting.
Oh, shitting. Okay, gotcha.
Let's see.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah. I have a video that's a compilation of how many times they say the word shit from the movie Tales from the Hood. let's see. Some, I mean, just going through it, like, just some, there's normal stuff in there, like, Defeated Sanity, like, live in 2007 or something like that, but then, like, underneath it or near it is, like, I have, what is it, a news report on this guy who had a Jankum lab that, was evicted, and in retaliation of being evicted, this is so hard to say. This is one of my favorites.
Lab busted.
In retaliation of being evicted, he kicked over all of the shit, and the building was condemned. It destroyed the building.
You must know who Justin Wang is, right, Mac?
Oh, of course, yeah.
I'm looking up the Jankum Lab busted video. The #1 comment is by him. It says, "Jankum is all natural and organic, good for you," and everyone freaks out. But cancer-causing cigarettes are okay. Shake my head.
Yeah. Let's see. I know this one might be another favorite lolcal of everybody. I have a video of Fed Smoker playing piano just before he died. Documentary on Screamin' Jay Hawkins. Let's see. I'm not saying everyone, but I'm just saying I've got a lot of stuff from True Detective, documentary on Solitude Eternus, chill orangutan standing around while Bones is playing.
Okay.
A lot of footage from movies. I really love a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, like the movie Alien. I mean, obviously with the band names that I have, I love Alien, but I know an awful lot about that. David Lynch stuff. And some wholesome stuff, like the legendary New York City A-Train saxophone battle, where two guys on that train just happened to have saxophones. And they both started playing together.
I thought you were gonna bring up that Jewish guy in New York, where the dude's playing.
Like, God, what's his name?
You're nothing. It's like I walked Bob Dylan up on stage.
Who are you? Who are you?
Here's
like,
another.
I don't know.
Here, Mac, you know this trick. All the listeners too. I want you to go to Google and look up Space Movie 1992.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Okay, apparently Fred knows that one. I didn't expect that.
You did it last time.
That's because you told me to do it.
Yeah.
I did?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, what happened is we were talking about black metal band names, and I was telling you that back in, like, I don't know how long ago this was, but someone told me, hey, you should look up the band Aurora Snow. And
it was a porn star. Right.
Well, yeah, and that's why I found out when I Googled it. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what you did there. That's how that came up.
Yeah, when you said that name, I'm like, that name does sound familiar.
But it does sound like a black metal band. We checked out. We checked it out. It is a black metal band, actually, isn't it? I remember we searched Metal Archives, and there was a band called Aurora Snow, and it doesn't seem to be tongue in cheek. They look like a legit black metal band.
Yeah, it's not it wasn't a joke for them.
No.
It's not a joke for her either. It's a job.
Hey-oh.
That is her life.
She's in a black metal band now, I bet. Backing vocals.
You know what? That's actually that's a
Phil.
really good. That's an interesting topic I've actually never thought about. Is porn stars that are in metal bands. I don't know if there are any. I guess the only
somebody from Enthroned was in a porn.
Yeah.
Enthroned. Is that a black metal band?
Yeah, that's a German black metal band, I believe.
Only guy I immediately thought of that, and this is really tangential, is Evan Seinfeld from Biohazard. He used to be married to Tara Patrick, and they used to have like a company together.
Well, there's Peter Steele obviously was in Playgirl. It's not porn strictly, but it's close.
Yeah, and that he probably regretted that. I don't know if you've heard what happened because of it.
Depends. I've heard a lot of things about it, so.
He found out Playgirl's demographics were only like 20%.
Oh, right. Yeah. I remember that.
and so at one of his like meet and greets or like autograph sessions, this dude brought the magazine and told him to turn to that section and autograph it. And when he opened it up, like a fresh load fell out and like just hits him in the seat of his pants.
What?
Yeah, like or just I can't imagine being him and like wanting to just fucking kill that guy. That's all I can think about.
Ultimate sicko episode.
So when they said meet and greet, I guess they spelled meat wrong.
God, I don't know how that guy thought that was going to work out in any way positive.
I mean, he got paid.
Like, oh, let me get a fresh nut in there for him.
Oh, for that guy. I don't know how that.
But yeah, no, he did it to get money for a backdrop. Like that's what they did with that money, and I'm pretty sure he's just like I could have just put some extra shifts at the garbage, fucking at my garbage man job.
I just want to know how much he got paid for it.
Not
how many
enough.
shifts was it worth?
Not enough.
That's not enough. That's why later he had to. I don't know if you know this. He had to make that song "I Like Goyles" because of that.
Goyles?
No.
Yeah, that's the title.
Like that.
I think that's off of "Life Is Killing Me." But yeah, he had to make that because people thought that he was gay.
There was a documentary, for some reason Peter Steele was in a death metal documentary. I think it was by that Beelzebub director.
Oh yeah, that's the one from 2003.
Yeah, and he was telling the story about going to jail, and he had to take a shit, but he said he couldn't flush the toilet because there was already like a giant turd in there that had been sitting there so long it had like fossilized and like turned to stone and it wouldn't flush down.
It was in a rock formation.
Like rock.
That's the opposite because I for the longest time when I was in college I have a bachelor in the science of psychology with a minor in philosophy, and one of the things I really studied was prison psychology. And one of the things about a men's prison is they're very anal, pun intended, about being very clean. And the thing is, if you take a shit, the way that they tell you to take a shit in prison is like this. When you take a shit, as it's coming out of your asshole, hit the fucking flush, because they want that shit immediately, because they do not want it to fucking smell bad. And if it's big enough, they will tell you to literally fucking, like...
break it up.
Yeah, cut it in half. So that's interesting. Yeah, you have to get that fucking poop knife.
Yeah. Quick, somebody get
It's interesting. It's interesting that like he encountered that, I guess, but I mean, who knows? That might have been a jail or something like that he was in, and it's completely different. In prisons, especially like maximum security prisons, like you'll be like shocked how clean the men's prison is, but then at the exact same time, on the diametric opposite end, you will be appalled at what the women's prison is like.
I saw a video that popped up in my feed the other day. I didn't watch it, but it said something like women's prisons are extremely stinky.
Oh, you have no idea. I had one of my last professors used to be a CO, and he said that he kind of confirmed. I mean, this was before those videos were coming out, but I already had an idea about how bad the women's prisons were. Like, it's just like nobody's cleaning, nobody's really picking up after themselves, and then there's, just everybody's funk mixing with everybody else's funk. like homemade dildos hidden in places, just like not cleaned up and just left out, and just
growing some kind of fungus on them.
Oh, I'm sure that there's like new species of spore
like bacterial infections
developing. Yeah. There was this one prison guard who was talking about how, like, the first day on the job, he's like, what is that smell? And the other guy said, like, you'll get used to it. And he said, like, it took me 6 months, but I finally got used to it. And he said that when he would go home, it just stayed on him. One dude described it, like, they asked him, like, what it smelled like, and he just simply said, butt ass.
Butt ass? That's kind of like Michael Jackson saying doo-doo feces.
I have that in my favorites. That is one of the videos I have in my favorites.
I forget what the context of that was.
He was in prison or in jail, and he asked to like be taken out of his cell or be put into a better cell, and he was placed in just like the worst cell. Like there's shit all over the walls, and it was awful, and the guards were laughing at him. But yeah, no, that's one of the videos I have, funnily enough.
I think the Cup character in Smiling Friends said they referenced the doo-doo feces thing.
Yeah, they put in some
doo-doo feces.
Yeah, they put in some, like, it's been a while since I've seen that show, but they put in some wild little references in that show. I hope it does get like a second season.
It's in the second season right now.
Oh, it did?
The second season just ended, I think.
Oh, okay. See, I don't have a TV, and I haven't kept up with it, but I'll check that out. Yeah, that it took me a while to watch it.
The Trump assassination attempt. Poor Richard.
Wait, whose?
Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons.
Oh, I thought you said Gene Simmons. I'm like, what?
No, Richard Simmons. His death was overshadowed by the assassination attempt.
Well, no, there were four people. Shannon Doherty, Gene Simmons, Dr. Ruth, and then another person.
Not Gene Simmons.
No, Richard Simmons.
No.
Workout fella.
Yeah. Who hated, I don't know if you know this, he hated the little short movie that Pauly Shore did of him. It was awful.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've never heard of that. But that, I guess, makes sense. He is kind of like Richard Simmons in the way they act.
Well, it was what Pauly did was like largely like a caricature. It was the same way when Jim Carrey did Andy Kaufman for Man on the Moon. Like,
yeah,
that's not how Andy sounded.
On that set.
My God, that documentary is... I don't know how they let that be released.
Jim Carrey's just an asshole.
Well, when I got to the part where the daughter who'd never met her father comes in and talks to Jim, I'm like, I'm done. I can't do this. How is this real right now?
Yeah, to his credit, The Cable Guy was a great film.
God, well, I mean, I still love Jim Carrey, and obviously, he had a big impact on all of us.
Yeah.
I actually have a story. I mean, you'll know about what I'm saying. Like with Ace Ventura, one of the first times I saw Ace Ventura, this is really cool. So they used to play Ace Ventura on Cartoon Network, even the first one. But the way that they did it is they cut out all of like the really adult stuff, and there was a significant amount of time taken out because of that. So what they decided to do is they decided to throw in footage that was taken out of the movie. And I don't know if you guys know this.
Yeah, I think I know what you're going to allude to, that extra...
there's another scene with Cannibal Corpse where Barnes jumps off stage.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't seen
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Barnes jumps off stage and Jim Carrey does... He does the 1, 2, 3, 4, da 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 da, and he starts doing just crazy shit with his shirt off. And I saw that very young, and I'm like, what is this?
That is probably my favorite Jim Carrey movie.
I love it. He's like, is Frank here?
Oh yeah, the guy that's headbanging.
Alrighty then.
Hello, is Ray Finkel here? Or no? He's like, I'd like to speak to Ray Finkel. or I need to speak to Ray Finkel. Like, and a fresh pair of pants. Because the dude pulls the shotgun out on him. This is my brother, Larry. And he does that, like, let's do that in this replay. And, like, he smashes his head down. It's like, he'll be there for a while. It's okay.
Paul made me aware of Richard Simmons passing yesterday. It made me think of that Family Guy scene where Peter can't die when Norm Macdonald's the Grim Reaper. And he goes into the bar and he goes, "Hey, aren't you Richard Simmons' best friend, Richard Simmons?"
That is such an old episode. Damn, that goes like back to almost like '99.
I think it is from '99. It's probably from the first season.
God, it's still so funny with the Norm thing. Like, one of the funniest things that Norm ever really said. Well, I mean, there's so many, but when they're doing he's talking to Adam Egget, and he's saying, like, I was looking up this guy on the internet the other day, and like, he had this look in his eyes, hypnotic. Said his name was Adolf Hitler. I think me and you, we should get together and go kill this guy. And Adam was like, well, I mean, that was in World War II. He's dead. He's like, oh, he's dead? I didn't even know he was sick. And then people started talking about that phrase. Yeah. People start talking about that phrase, like, after Norm dies, like, damn, I didn't even know he was sick. It's so weird.
Similar one where he was saying, like, he goes, a lot of people they talk about going back in time to kill Hitler. He goes, I'd be afraid I'd fall into his beautiful eyes. Fall into the gaze.
There's somebody that was talking about how, like, you can go back in time to kill Hitler, but you have to do it when he's a baby. And so you have
Family Guy bit too.
Yeah, you have to kill a baby, and in what would that be, like late 1800s or so Germany?
Yeah, that's the conundrum.
Like you're not living through that, but you know.
There was another one that was really good from him. He was talking to Larry King, and he was saying he was telling Larry King that he's a closeted gay man, and Larry's like, "What are you telling me here?" Very deeply closeted, or deeply closeted. He goes, "That's you're gay." He goes, "Hey, whoa, easy, buddy."
Oh God, now I'm trying to think of like somebody in my. One of my favorite things is still like, one of the last times SNL was ever funny, just him doing Burt Reynolds, and they're on Jeopardy, and one of the things I think that Will Ferrell's reading off, I can't remember how this joke goes, but I still think about this fucking line delivery all the time. It just said, "Who is Andre the Giant?" And as Burt Reynolds, he's like, "Well, it was a giant, and his name was Andre."
Yeah,
I can't do it justice. Like, yes, that he tries to put on him like at the end of it, and he gets so fucking flustered.
I think that's 90s SNL probably.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't grow up on SNL personally. Like, I didn't.
Neither did I. The closest thing I had seen at the time when I was a kid was probably like Wayne's World and Tommy Boy and things like that.
Yeah, I grew up.
I don't know if anybody remembers It's Pat.
I know of the movie. I never watched it.
Girl.
Yeah, it's annoying as shit.
I think as a kid I thought it was funny. Yeah, I haven't seen it like in 20 years.
I don't remember that as a kid. I did see stuff about that later. I grew up on all the like 90s kid bullshit, so all that and then going forward, but I never watched Saturday Night Live. I guess in a way with all that, it was kind of like the kids' version of that.
I watched it for a while in the late 90s, but didn't do much for me.
Well, I think in a way, I didn't realize this until much later. I mean, we all pretty much watched all of the movies that those people were in. So it was like, even though we weren't watching Saturday Night Live, we were watching the people who made Saturday Night Live.
The results of it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all of the Adam Sandler movies, Chris Farley, David Spade, any of those.
Forget about Norm's movie too, Dirty Work.
A Dirty Work, great. That was
maybe a few years ago.
That movie's great, and that's actually Chris Farley's last movie.
Oh, it is? Yeah, he got his nose bitten off by the side of horror there.
And that, like, I still remember the joke where they're in the they're in jail, and it was like he told him like cut it out or whatever. Like when they got
he gets raped in jail, and he goes he goes, you know what hurts the most? He's like, the disrespect. Well, actually, the other thing hurt the most. He's like, just ridiculous. He's like, I got half a mind to go to the warden about this.
There's so many wild jokes in that. Like, the fact that they had Don Rickles in it, and even David Koechner is in that movie. Like, early David Koechner from that time. But, oh, yeah. I remember what one of the reviews said about that movie. And Norm would, he made so much fun of this, just like, all of the appeal of a date rapist. And Norm is like, well, I mean, that's not as bad as a regular rapist. I mean, he's at least good enough to get a date.
I never knew what that guy's name was. David Koechner.
Koechner, yeah, that's... We all know the guy. If I showed you a picture of him, you know... Yeah.
He's the bald guy,
Yeah.
There was a movie I saw recently with him. It's called Cheap Thrills.
That movie is awesome. I was like, awesome. Please mention. I love that fucking movie, especially when like you see the twist where he looks at the picture when he says like, "Oh yeah, your keys are over there," and he looks at the picture, and he's a fucking kung fu master.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of in the Game of Death genre. I think I discovered that when Squid Game was really big. That iHypocrite dude on YouTube was recommending a bunch of those type of movies. Cheap Thrills is one of them. It's pretty awesome.
I saw Cheap Thrills a long. Yeah, I need to watch that again because it's just such a fun movie. The guy that has like the what do you call it? The not bald cap, but the some people call it toboggan. Some people call it a.
In Metadol, I just cover them. Okay, blue.
Let me pause it.
Did we cut out?
All right, hey. Mac is back. He got kicked, but
Mac.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck that. I don't know how that happened. Hopefully you guys can edit it. We're not premiering this live, right?
No, you're good.
Okay, thank God.
Now this will come out in like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got a queue of episodes, so.
Okay, so where were we?
Toboggan.
You said something about a toboggan.
That's right. Okay, so that guy wearing that in that movie, I think it was the guy that played Rusty in Vegas Vacation, National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But yeah, no, Cheap Thrills, highly recommended movie. It is a wild movie.
I think we paused it when you cut out, and you said something about a toboggan, and I asked Fred if he had ever seen the video of Geddy Lee going down the little hill on the toboggan, and he goes, "Boy, that was fun."
God, he's like the most wholesome dude, but also at the same time, he seems like a dude I would never want to try to offend ever. Like I'd be on like extra special.
Some eggshells around Geddy Lee.
Yeah.
Just don't even talk to him. Just enjoy the music. Don't look at him.
Well, that definitely was
don't
Neil
make
Peart.
eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely was Neil Peart. He hold on, let me make sure this is correct. It was Rusty from Vegas Vacation. So that's, I just have to make sure because like it would fucking eat at me if.
Vegas Vacation.
Yes, that was the last real one to me in '97.
It's the one where the guy at the end, the old man, he wins and he goes, I won the money.
And then he fake dies and gives them the money or something.
I think he fake dies, he drops his winning ticket, and then an employee with a vacuum sucks up the ticket. I believe is what happens.
No, he grabs it before it gets sucked up.
Oh, really? Okay, I don't remember too much. Oh, yeah, I remember they all drive home at the end in their new cars. Woohoo!
Well, yeah, because Rusty kept going to these things where he'd just put in a quarter and he'd win a car, and so they all had cars.
What was the Chevy Chase catchphrase in those movies? Doesn't he keep saying, like, he goes, "This is crazy"?
Oh, yeah, in a lot of ways, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of other things that are kind of like the trademark of those movies. One would be the song that Lindsey Buckingham did for it. Or I don't know if he did it for the movie, but that's one of the main things. The other one is the Holiday Road. The other one is the blonde girl in the car.
Christy Brinkley?
Brinkley? I'm not sure, but like she like the main things too, because like the first movie, which that kind of like verges on PG-13R. Then you have European Vacation, which is probably the most mature one, and that's not one that's really mentioned by a lot of people. Then you have Christmas Vacation, which unfortunately I have to see every year, and then Vegas Vacation.
I think I might have skipped European Vacation, or if I have.
Not a lot of people have seen it. It was in 1985. I'm trying to remember if. Oh God, this. That it's definitely how would I say this, like a raunchier movie. It's really funny though. Like there's like a really small cameo of Billy Zabka, who plays what's his face in Cobra Kai and Karate Kid.
What the hell is his name? Are you talking about Johnny?
Yeah, he plays Johnny.
Okay.
My memory's going on me, but I can still remember all this shit, but I can't remember the names as well. But yeah, no, he's in the movie for like a split second. But there's some of the who would they be? The Monty Python guys are in that one, which is pretty interesting.
Fred's up.
Is he? Where's Fred? Oh, he's way back there.
I'm still here.
Oh, there you are. I heard you real far away for a sec.
Yeah, I leaned back.
Sit up.
Again, if I'm rambling or you guys want to throw in anything, please just let me know.
Oh no, you're good.
Think, Paul?
No, you're good. I was gonna say, maybe we can talk about your bands and you being the coach, the guitar, guitar teacher.
Well, and I think I'll talk about that a little bit first.
Yeah,
and the fact that I'm known as Coach. I don't know if people know where that moniker came from.
Let's hear it.
So, to me, this is an incredibly unknown movie, and I really urge everybody to watch it. What's funny is Nick actually watched it recently, and he loved it, and he kind of understood a lot of the reason why I went by it. But there's this movie that... Well, let me back up a little bit. When high school ended for me back in like 2012, I decided to start hosting movie days at my house, and so I needed to start finding like a lot of movies that I would want to show my friends, because it'd be 6 of us like stuffed in my room with like during the summer, and so we'd be burning up and we'd like get out into the hallway and feel the cool air, but we'd, you know, watch at least like 2, 3, 4 movies. Well, one night I noticed this movie came on, and it was called Division 3, Football's Finest. And and just by the trailer or the short little snippets that they were showing, it was a movie that was making fun of inspirational sports movies. Now, I'm already, like, there. Because growing up, I've always hated sports, but I did play soccer, goalie. But I never liked sports, and I especially never liked the atmosphere around sports and sports fans. I don't like people watching sports, and you know, you go to a family get-together and the game's on. I could not give a less of a shit about that. And really, I'd like to take a bat to the TV. I'd like to take a bat to the TV and, like, hey, can we talk about something, like, remotely interesting? Like the Unabomber or something? So this movie made fun of football, and when I was in high school, a lot of guys wanted me to play football because of my frame. I'm 6'3", I'm rather large. And thank God I didn't, because I did break my back in high school, jumping a flight of stairs because I was so heavy at the time. Well, I still am heavy, but you know. Well, this movie, I started to watch this movie, and I stop it because I was laughing too much, and I'm like, I don't want to see this before the other guys see it. I want to see it to where we're all experiencing it together. And we all watch this movie, and we're all fucking crying. Now, what this movie is the director of the movie, and he might have also been one of the writers, is in it, and it's about a college football team, and they make a thing at the movie explaining the divisions of football. I'm sure you guys know too, but the way they talk about it is like Division 1 is like, you know, that's getting near pro ball. You pretty much have a really good chance of having a career if you're on one of these teams. D2 is a step down, but, you know, you do kind of have less of a chance. And this is how they talk about Division 3. And then there's Division 3. They play football as well. And the whole premise of this movie is that this team is the they're known as the Blue Cocks, and it's another losing kind of season, and they haven't won a game in like a really long time, and they've decided to hire a pretty controversial coach. Now, this coach, his name is Coach Rick Weiss, and he is played by the incomparable Andy Dick.
There he is,
and throughout the course of this movie, I don't want to spoil it because I do want you guys to watch this movie. He has a nutritional expert named Bob Delgert, and he's purposely says the way that he described it is like this quarter ton of fun over here. And we all figured out immediately, like, quarter ton. That meant 500 pounds. This man is 500 pounds, and he's the nutritionalist. So, this movie is, like, we all can quote the movie, like backwards and forwards. And it's just, I don't know why, it's just one of those things, like, I kept making people that would come into the band watch it. I would watch it on birthdays, you know, like, we watched it once for Thanksgiving. It's just one of those movies I would just make people watch, and Nick saw it recently, like I said. He loved it, because it's just absolutely ridiculous. It's fucking insane. There's one part where, I'll describe it, he's trying to, basically, Coach Weiss is trying to whip the team into shape by doing insane things to them. And one of the things he does is he gets on a bicycle with a yard marker, which is that giant spear on a football field. and he's using it like a jousting stick as he's chasing all of them around a track and just like stabbing them with it and making them fall down. And like they have to run laps until they throw up. He shuts the water off on them. He tries to make them drink their own piss. It's an insane fucking movie, and it makes fun of sports. How being like an athlete somehow makes you a hero. Also, like, the quarterback is somehow, like, the greatest person ever. Just a lot of things that really appealed to me then, and kind of appeal to me now. But when I got onto Instagram in 2020, when the pandemic had started, I just started thinking about names, and I don't know, I guess I still was thinking about that movie, and I just called myself Coach Vice Guitar. I thought about changing it just to my name, but I get a lot of people, that's I guess how they address me now, is they call me Coach. Like, and at first it was kind of weird. First person to do it obviously was Jack, and I'm like, he calls me Coach, and then everybody else just started calling me Coach. But and I'm not trying to teach guitar the way that Rick Vice tried to teach them how to shape up for football. If I did that, I definitely wouldn't have a job. But I'd have thought about getting like an outfit, like a coach, and having a whistle, and teaching that way. Yeah, but no, that's just when when the pandemic started, is when I started teaching at a guitar shop back in 2019, and I started trying to do stuff then to keep it going. But getting back to the bands, let me think. All right, going back a little bit further, the bands. I guess I'll just go through the entire musical journey and try to do it quickly. 2015, Jesus. 2008, my birthday, November 21st, 2008. I was 15. I get my first guitar because a lot of the people that I was hanging out with in high school were playing guitar, and also I thought that it would impress this one girl that I liked. But I started playing, and for about a year I was getting somewhere, but I'd gone to this guitar club, and when I was at the club, I was playing like some death riffs at the time or something like that. But this guy there, who was a much better guitar player than me, he kind of put me in my place in a lot of ways, but it lit a fire under my ass, and I knew that I wanted to get better, because it was really competitive between me and the other guys. And I started going to this guy named Kevin Dillard the summer of 2009, and that's when I started really learning all the stuff that got me to where I am today, because it taught me how to learn, and then it taught me, you know, you can take any type of information and then reverse engineer it to make it fit into a metal context. And so I took lessons from summer of 2009 till around spring or so of 2013. That's when I'd started college, and for about 2 years I was just doing college. Well, early 2015 rolls around, and my buddy, my bass player Avery, who's in Giger with me, he decides to get me to go to a Sleep show in Atlanta with him. And we go and see Sleep, and it was awesome. We got to meet the band. We took pictures. And from that moment forward, I was like, I had always wanted to do death metal. And I kind of had a pseudo band back when I was in high school. But I tried to make it work for about 3 years, but it was me and this other guy, and he and I were the only ones really motivated to do it, and then he wasn't really so motivated to do it, and he was only wanting to be a hired gun for me. Well, after a while I just ended it, and that's when I started hosting the movie days. Well, when the Sleep thing happened, I got together with my bass player Avery, who at the time wasn't as into death metal as he is now, and we're like, okay, let's try to do this stoner thing. And it really wasn't something I was wanting to do, but I realized that this would be something to do, because I didn't have a band or anything to do at the time. And then that's when we met our old guitar player, Tyler Weed. There was a summer birthday party, and we decided to ask him, and he joined. And at the time, he had another drummer that he was jamming with, and so we decided to just join forces. And we wrote like the first 3 songs off of the first demo within like a week. And we were doing the stoner thing at first, but quickly, after maybe about a year or so, like, I mean, I still am obviously much more into death metal, and that's when I'm like, I don't want to do this stoner thing anymore, and that's when the band started changing. And the band still is always going through changes, and I do have kind of a love-hate relationship with that band at times, because death metal is the thing that I want to do and that I prefer to do. And so sometimes I'm dissatisfied with my past works, and I think, like, why did I release this? Why do I have my name on this? But I realize that no matter what, it's a documentation of the progress of me as an artist. But 3 years down the line, in 2018, both of these bands came with the show. In 2018, around the same time as when I went to see Sleep in May in 2015, this time around, me and another friend of mine decided to go and see Demolick in Atlanta. And so we go and see Demolick. I have to sit through 3 other bands that I do not like, and I'll go ahead and name drop them if you guys don't mind me. I don't know if you guys need like a... Okay. So... Okay. I mean, because I can really bring the hammer down.
Bring the hammer down, dude.
So, first band was some shitty local band called Obsolescence. We sat outside while they were playing, or sat inside somewhere else. And then the band Artificial Brain came on, and it just sounded like fucking mud. The only enjoyable thing about Artificial Brain was Big Will Smith on vocals. Smith. I'm so glad he quit that band and he does Afterbirth now, which I really enjoy. I thought he was cool. And then we get to the darling of the modern death metal community. I want you to guess what band I'm about to say.
Incantation?
Who?
Blood Incantation?
Correct. So, we're sitting through Blood Incantation, and it was during that 1 17-minute song where I write long songs, and it hit me at that time where I'm like, man, I now feel like all of the people who've ever told me who felt our songs are too long. And I'll give you a pro tip. If you're not wanting to, like, listen to a band, but you're not wanting to get too far from the stage, go to the bathroom and just sit down on the toilet. You don't have to shit or anything. Yeah, and so I did, and you could still hear everything in there. Like, it would have been cool if a band had played and you made like a live recording from the bathroom. That would be. Yeah. It had good acoustics, but I just couldn't do it. And when they got done, I actually tried to talk to Paul Riedel, and he just completely gave me the fucking cold shoulder.
Why'd he do that?
Well, I asked him, I'm like, man, like, I love that you guys play BC Rich Ironbirds. Like, yeah. Like, he just gave me, like, one-word answers. And, all I can think is, like, I should rip the rest of the fucking hairs that you barely have out of your fucking skull and take that goddamn guitar.
Yeah, Paul, how come you weren't nice to Mac?
Mac attack.
What the heck, brother?
Well, he's just an asshole anyway.
Yeah, I've seen some of his Instagram activities. He seems like a real butthead.
Do you remember? Do you remember the post that he made? I don't want to get too political, but do you remember the post that he made?
I think I know what you're talking about. Did it have some like statue on it or something?
Correct.
Yeah, I saw that. What a dumbass.
God. Okay. Yeah. So we'll just speak in code here. If anybody wants to figure out what we're talking about, just go to his Instagram.
Go find that post.
Well, I remember when I saw that because, you know, obviously we were all watching that as that happened, and I saw that, and I'm like, oh my God. I couldn't believe it.
At some point, it's not surprising.
Oh no, because like I remember in one of his interviews, he was talking about how all of the systems that we've set up as human beings throughout human history have been wrong and inefficient, like tenets of traditionalism.
Yeah, Paul's
and he said
for us humans.
And he says that, you know, we shouldn't be you know, caught up in all of these material things and just like these ideas that we have about other human beings. Well, as he gets done saying that, the guy asks him about Starspawn, and Paul immediately just says like, "Oh yeah, it's in his third printing." Like, we're making a lot of money off that.
And like 17 different color variants.
Yeah. I remember I used to listen to them around Starspawn, but it was very quick that I realized, like, what are these riffs? And really it was Jerry that, when he released that video, that infamous video,
I saw
where I was like, yeah, I'm
he
done.
was talking about like guitar. He's like, these are exercises, not really riffs.
Yeah, because what he was really trying to say is, especially that one song, I don't know if it's Starspawn or the other one off of that thing, it's a repeated legato pattern over and over and over. They play in drop C, which is weird.
Yeah.
And they don't really do, like, they've tried to say like they've been influenced like by Time Goal, and I'm like, where? This sounds more like especially Later Death. You can tell that is a big influence on what they're doing. It's more of the aesthetics of early Morbid Angel, keyword aesthetics, you know, the form over the function, with the sound of Later Death. And that's really what that band, and as we all joke around and say all the time, is like A&E's or the History Channel's Ancient Aliens. Like, that's what Blood Incantation are.
Yeah. And
but
I know what we're talking about. You're talking about Scale It Back, right? The YouTube channel.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty good friends with him. I'd like to say, at least.
He's like a cool guy. I when I discovered that video, I just kind of went on a giant binge of his channel. He had a lot of cool insight.
I watched every video that he had on the channel, and then when the Trevor Sterned thing happened, he deleted all that, and I was really upset because I enjoyed watching.
No, I didn't know why all that stuff got deleted. I had never heard about.
Oh boy! So I won't get into too much detail, but essentially what happened was, this is the one video that you're not going to see. When Trevor Sterned died, he had made a video.
Is that the Black Dahlia murder guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He had made a video about him and about kind of like cult of personality and being like a charismatic figure, and even though, you know, you have nothing to do with this person, he's made an impact on you just through his charisma, not necessarily his music and all of this stuff. And people, like, one of the bigger channels, I guess, that made kind of a thing about him was that fucking dumbass Wyatt X Him. You can still watch that, by the way. He made a video about that, and he compared Jerry to the Actually meme, and Jerry ended up getting not just him, but his family had like received death threats.
Not cool, Wyatt.
Yeah. So he took the entire thing down, and I hated that he did, but thankfully somebody had archived pretty much like 95% of it, and
yeah, there's the Scale It Back archives. I had no idea why all that stuff went down.
Yeah, that's because he wanted to just get as far away from it as possible, just for the sake of not just his safety, but his family's sake and safety. which I get, because I mean, when it's one thing if somebody's like going after you, but when they're going after like your parents who have nothing to do with it, like I think he'd been doxxed practically
over nothing.
Oh yeah, over a difference of opinion, which kind of proved his point.
Yeah, Jerry
because
was right this whole time.
Because I mean, they were so charismatic about a guy that they never really knew, and they would go to this length, because they felt that this person was so important to them. Now, I mean, I have my influences and my guitar heroes and things like that I do care about, and at some point I would like to be held in that same regard, and I would like to know all of these people. But at the same time, if somebody was shitting on somebody that I like after their death, I mean, I'm not going to do anything beyond, like, if I'm even made a comment. Like, I think that's ridiculous to sabotage your own well-being to accomplish nothing at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. People have sort of made the internet their own personal, like, not just identity, but their, like, way to take action in strange ways.
Well, the key term is, especially now, is these parasocial relationships that people have.
Yeah, with people they like.
Especially with podcasts and comedians right now. Like, people think, or not just podcasts, but YouTubers, influencers, and comedians, they really feel like this attachment to them because they don't have an attachment, as good of an attachment within their own family or their own social group. So it's become this surrogate or simulacrum of what they really need. And so...
has become your friend.
Yeah, or your father.
Without them knowing who you are.
Exactly. They don't give two shits about you. They just hope that you donate it, some more money.
Yeah, hope you hit
the super chat.
Hope you hit that bell.
Yeah, like and fucking subscribe. And it's really...
Speaking of which,
it's sad.
Yeah, speaking of which, smash that like button, everybody.
Well, what's going to be funny is the fact that we said like and subscribe. I don't know if you noticed that little feature now on YouTube where the subscribe button becomes like highlighted in a rainbow.
Gets triggered.
Yes, it does. I noticed that.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think now, I mean, more so than anything, like, the age in which we live is this kind of thing where, more so, I mean, there's no other time that this has happened, but we live in our phones and our computers, and it's like a lot of, like, boomer talk. Well, the truth of the matter is, I mean, we're all hooked into the lives of other people we may never run across. And a lot of impressionable people, if they can't parse this information with enough maturity, I can't imagine growing up in all of this. I just happened to grow up right before this happened and reach the age of adulthood and reason before that. But if you grow up into this, like if you're raised by all of this, it's like the antithesis of being human. You're raised by something particularly not human, like foreign to you, and so it doesn't actually mature you as a human being, and you're not able to have the correct responses to these things because you will take things personally. So if something happens to your favorite streamer, it's gonna hurt you as if somebody in your family fucking died. So it's the same thing with Trevor Sternad. For all of these people, in addition to this guy killing himself, you now have this guy talking or saying something negative about it. And so these people are having the same response as if somebody said something negative about your mother who just killed themselves. And that's how they're taking it, but it's not. It's not reality.
No, it's not. And
bro, but he was there like when I needed someone the most, and like No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people. And music is there for all of us, but you have to understand that it's in a way that you as a person were able to seek out this music and find this thing and come to a point where you can come out of what negative space that you came out of and realize, like, this is a goodness in my life, but
it can be a positive.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
It should end there.
Yeah, exactly. That's unless you want to contribute to it and that's how I thought of it. It's like I wanted to contribute to this thing that I love so much, but for me, that's where it ends. It's not like the culmination of my life to be this metalhead guy that's in love with all of these bands, even though people might perceive me that way because of how much I learn about them and how much I do have an affinity towards all this. I can still separate myself. Some people can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've talked before about how, you know, it's a hobby, basically, and a lot of people don't want to admit that.
Yeah, and
some people it's a lifestyle, right?
Yeah,
well, that's what they say. They go, it's a lifestyle.
And I get that to a degree.
It's my middle
like, I still wear band shirts. I still wear band shirts. I've got long hair, but other than that, especially because I live in Georgia, I try to dress comfortably, so I'm not wearing all black all the time like I used to when I was a kid. I'm not wearing the leather jacket with the black fucking jeans and the high tops and all that shit.
All right, Matt,
I'm wearing like.
I want to get a fit from you and Dan. See if you guys are dressing the same. So, Dan, he's in a tank top, basketball shorts,
tank top. Yes.
And sometimes chanclas, and then the other times
I'm not wearing any shoes. I'm at my desk.
Other times it's.
Are you asking?
Shoes. So
let me ask this. Are you asking now or when I go out?
Whenever.
No, right now.
Just comfy.
Oh, comfy. I'm in my underwear.
Alright, how about right now then?
I'm in my underwear. Like when I'm yeah, like I live in Georgia.
Yeah.
It's not a joke. Like it's the only time anything in my life has ever been oppressive to me is the fucking weather. But here's what I wear when I go out places, and I kind of made a statement in doing this because you can see over the course of the band, if you look at live photo and video of me and the band, I made myself stand out purposely. Okay, and I'll actually go into my thought process about this. I still wear band shirts. But the one thing I try to do is I try to get a band shirt that's not black. So I try to get any colors that I can get. White shirts, because it's so hot, they end up just turning yellow from all the sweat and work I put into it. So it's not worth it. And I have a whole bunch of white shirts that I love that I basically can't wear because I need to bleach them. But
what's his name? What the hell was that guy's name? It's what the Tourette's guy would call tit dirt.
Yeah. God, that guy. I love the videos he's released recently. Okay, getting back to what I wear. Like right now, like the thing that I do is I cut the shoulders and neck out of a lot of my shirts. So, I cut the sleeves off and like cut the neck out of a lot of my shirts right now. So it's basically like a tank top, and then I wear
restricting.
Yeah. Then I'll wear just a type, like almost like Beavis and Butthead shorts, like above the knee shorts, purposely, and also purposely in another weird kind of similarity I never thought about. I almost exclusively wear Crocs.
Damn, that's a statement.
I have 4 different pair. I used to have a 5th. And I wear them because of the movie Idiocracy. Because the way that I think about it, like people always make fun of me for wearing the Crocs. First off, they're very comfortable. They're not constricting. If you have like a wide foot, they actually have room for your fucking foot. They breathe, obviously, but the other reason behind them, thematically, is we all hear the meme of Clown World, but the other way that I think about it is living in Idiocracy. I'm trying to blend in, like Patrick Bateman. I'm trying to fit in. So in a way, everybody wears Crocs. And so the whole idea behind it is, I don't want to pretend that right now I'm living in a time period that it's good. I don't want to. I hate everybody operating under the illusion right now that things are okay. And so I wear Crocs because I want it to appear like this is Idiocracy. This is what's happening. Things are getting dumber. Things are getting worse. Things are getting broken down. This is a type of an end of a civilization. So there was a thought behind it other than it just being like a funny shoe. If I don't wear those, I have like a pair of purple Pumas. I do have my old Reebok high tops, and I think my other favorite shoe I have these like 12-inch leather boots that I wear. That's like classic old school death metal, like deicide wear. But whenever I go out, it's very fucking simple. I do have some flip flops and a pair of Birkenstocks. But yeah, so like here, it's really a lot of just comfort wear. But it's the same thing. It's a band shirt, shorts, and Crocs, and that's what I'm wearing. And I'm not really dressed anywhere for success or anything like that. I will dress nice if it's a funeral or wedding. But other than that, like,
yeah, the company's person's gonna be in the casket.
Yeah, I've never thought about it that way. Yeah, I just here's how I'll put it. I don't think that the world is worth dressing up for right now.
That's a good point. And as a bonus, it's comfy.
Yeah. That's the other thing, because like I have played a lot of shows where the rest of the band is like in all black, and I'm in like multicolors, and so on stage I'll stand out, and I'll also subvert other people's expectations because they'll see me, and I remember this one guy said it best. He's like, man, when you look at Weed, our other guitar player, you look at him and like he looks like he does something, but then when people look at you, they're like, man, this guy can't do anything, but when you get up on stage, you do everything. And that was a lot of it too, and also in a weird way, unfortunately, it was like it was kind of a statement. It's like I didn't take the stoner thing too seriously, so I wasn't going to dress up in all the spikes and I wasn't going to go full like old school deicide or blasphemy or Slayer or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, all those, it's also just become like kind of a fashion wear now live, and I just try to rebel against that. Like I know J-Dog is all about fucking. And I just mentioned J-Dog in that. Yeah, I just mentioned J-Dog. That opens a whole fucking can of worms. But yeah, he's all about dressing up for the stage and shit like that. I mean, I still have very long hair, but other than that, like, I'm not wearing all that hot-ass shit on a hot fucking stage. It's work when you're up there, because you're under lights. Like, I'd rather have no lights. Like we bring our own fans to shows now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, $100 fans, and have them pointed at us like how Morbid Angel used to do, and like have the hair like
plug them in with the fucking outlets right there.
Yeah, and it's but yeah, no, that's
another pro tip.
Yeah.
Get your own fucking fans, like, and spend some money on them too. Like, try to have one for each band member.
That's how we do it in our rehearsal spot.
Me and Paul went for a new band yesterday. We drove out to the desert, brought our own fans.
You have to. You went to the desert.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's gonna be like Caius or something?
No, it's some kind of like straightforward black speed metal thing.
Oh, okay. Man, I no offense to you guys or that genre, but that's just the one genre I couldn't do.
Thought that for a long time too, but I kind of have a good feeling about this one.
Yeah,
the guy behind the project knows what he's doing.
Yeah, we stayed away from it for so long. It's like, all right, let's see what we can do.
As long as you guys can make it good. Oh, let me get back to where I was supposed to go. So, the Demolik show. When Demolik finally got on stage, it literally was magic. It was like everything you'd ever want to hear from them. Auntie Bowman was hilarious. They were tight as shit. I hope that they put out a live album one day, because like the way that they sound live is fucking massive.
Damn.
And we got to meet Aki and Auntie that day too. And so for me and the bass player of that band, Ryan, and now Avery too on keyboards in that band, that's what started Predation from that point forward. So both bands kind of have this starting point of like, we went to see a big show, and then it kind of birthed the idea of wanting to do that. And that's kind of like in a lot of ways, people have called it my passion project with Predation, because it's a lot more where my heart is, because there's a lot of things that I like to do, technical, brutal death metal, but it's instrumental and it has keyboards, but we also don't have a drummer currently, so it's very strange.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's kind of weird with Fred being the odd man out of not seeing Demolik of all four of us here.
Oh man, damn, that sucks. Damn, it's, if you have the chance, just you gotta do it, because it's such like a rare thing.
Yeah.
To even say you've seen Demolik, because it's just like it almost does seem like an alien band, because you don't even think about Demolik as even being really active. I never thought that they'd come back.
Yeah.
Demolik was also a band that it took me a very long time to understand.
I'm still trying to decipher it.
It's very weird, because like the way that I write and the way that I play is so much ingrained in like all the bands that I love, like Suffocation. So when I heard Demolik, I'm like, it's like a completely different language. Because that's what you essentially do when you write your own music, because you develop your own language, your own way of saying things, how you conjugate a sentence. And the way Demolik do it is like, it's very strange. It's like, I don't think I've ever heard really anybody do it well. But there's been a lot of attempts, especially lately.
Yeah. And with your band, what's the reason for going instrumental?
Well, it's a lot of things. One thing is I can't do harsh vocals. I wish I could, but even if I could, I can't play and do them at the same time. If I were able to play and sing at the same time, I don't think we would have ever had another singer in Giger either. I actually began singing before I ever began playing guitar. I was in the choir for all 9 years when I was in elementary and middle school. And I learned about projection, and even now, like when I'm in my car, this kind of bothers people, but it's kind of funny. The air compressor's out in my car, and I'm in Georgia, so like there's no cold air, so I have to have my windows down, but I like to have my music loud, and I'll sing along with like whatever the hell it is I'm listening to, and like I'll try to actually be pitch correct and all this other type of stuff. I can't say whether or not I'm like a good singer, but I did do vocals on the latest Giger single, but that's one of the big reasons. The other reason was I got really tired of writing lyrics, and I didn't feel like I could write lyrics as well as the people that I looked up to, like Fallen or Lord Worm or let's see, who else? Just anybody that you could think of that was writing really creative type lyrics. And not that it's not within me, but it's just very time consuming. And then the other thing was this. Growing up, and we've all had this problem where, you're trying to explain what you're listening to another person, and you show it to them, and they always say the same thing, which is just like, man, I really like the instrument part of it, but the vocals just I really don't like. So I wanted to take that away. And I wanted to see how far I could push the music as being extreme and see if these people are just lying.
They're like, oh man, I would have liked this if it had, vocals in it. Like,
I will fucking hurt somebody if they say that to me.
Yeah, just don't even bother showing normal people metal stuff at all.
Yeah, well, it was just one of those types of things where that was my reasoning behind it. And then I think the other thing was, it was kind of like, for me, the best way that I can describe it is taking the devil away from it, or like taking the devil's voice away from this music. And I wanted to show that it wasn't just something that was necessarily repugnant, but it could be have other moods besides just wanting to be offensive or something like that. Not that I have anything, obviously I have nothing wrong with being offensive. I think it's a wonderful thing, but I just wanted to try to evoke something different. And it also, when you do that, it allows songwriting to go in places that you wouldn't actually go normally. Because it's not that death metal was ever really was written in a song format. Death metal was primarily written almost in like a narrative kind of format, where the vocals became another instrument, and it just allowed us to go into really even different places, and I think it's a way to not get kind of held down by the limitations of what you have to do to accommodate vocals.
And with that, like, are you into like any instrumental bands like that? Like,
oh my god, I think when it comes to like instrumental metal bands, I grew up on all the shredders, and I like a lot of like Tony McAlpine, Yngwie Malmsteen, Sean Lane. Trying to think of like some of the instrumental bands that really one of the earliest for me was Blotted Science when I was in high school. That's Roger Zombek's project that he did, and his was more, the first album was done more around like kind of doing songs, which is kind of why I like it a little bit more, like songs like Laser Limbotomy. It got even crazier when he did the I think it was Animation of Entomology EP, and they were written with that 12-tone scale randomization thing that were also written around scoring specific movie scenes in horror movies. That is brilliant, but it wasn't it wasn't what I wanted to hear, because I still wanted to hear riffs like that really bordered on
because
linear.
It was a lot of like stop start sort of stuff. What they would do.
It really bordered on just being linear music. Just there were no repeats.
Yeah.
It's very impressive musically, and I love Roger Zombek, but it's just also one of those things that you just don't like throw on. So I wanted something where I still had these riffs that I wanted to hear. I wanted to make music that I wanted to hear. One band that I kind of learned about recently that's actually really cool, so I was telling you, is really getting into Confessor.
Mm-hmm.
And it finally clicked with me recently how amazing they are, specifically the drummer Steve Shelton. Well, the drummer, Steve Shelton, he has this other band that's an instrumental metal band called Loincloth. And it's even more rhythmic and a little bit more advanced than Confessor. And they have 2 albums as well. And I'm delving into that. And it just because I love drums. The way that this guy plays the drums, like around a riff that might be simple, it gives it so much more. It just gives it this huge boost, where before, if it had had like a basic beat on it, it would have been just like a snooze fest. But he takes it to a whole other place where it's very dynamic. Other than that, let me try to think of like some instrumental metal things. It's kind of very difficult for certain bands to do, because sometimes a lot of bands will just just fall, like just go off the rails, and it becomes this very like ambient thing, or you'll have this like experimentation with jamming right in the middle of the song.
Yeah.
And that's definitely not anything that we wanted to do. We wanted to make sure that the way that this music was written is it had peaks and valleys, but at no point was it ever just like all the instruments are dropping out and there's a clean guitar and then it's building up with fucking solos and shit like that. Although there's a ton of solos in the stuff that I do, but let me actually see if there's not pretty much all the music that I do listen to on a normal basis has vocals.
Yeah.
So that's still like a thing, but a lot of the time, yeah, I do. I'll tell you this though. If I had like a really good software to where I could get versions of certain albums that could take the vocals out, I would listen to a lot of that.
Oh yeah, instrumental versions of albums for sure.
Yeah, like just hearing instrumental versions of like Legion or End of the Suffocation. I'm just being able to really just focus on what the instruments are doing, or just being able to isolate certain instruments. And 'cause that's one of the things that we're going to try to do when we release the material, is we're going to try to release it in formats where, all right, we know that a lot of metal people don't like keyboards, so that we're not going to do keyboards. Or so that we're going to do a version that just doesn't have the keyboards going through it. Then we'll do versions with more or less of like the harmonies and stuff that I want to do. And then here's what's kind of funny is that we will possibly do versions that have vocals on it. Yeah, because my keyboard player can do them, and it's just, we may do it in the fashion of like Obituary, where there's no lyrics, and it just might be like, yeah, just these like try to make alien rhythmic kind of
yeah, make it
emanations
more,
that
like make it actually part of the instrumental.
Exactly, like, because that was the whole point of a lot of those vocals, was to be percussive and to be another like blunt type of instrument, because it didn't carry a melody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's technically a note, but it was, it was all about just evoking this particular atmosphere.
Yeah, that's why I asked you about like the instrumental bands, because I don't know any other ones besides the ones Blotted Science and like Splastic Ink and shit. The
Roger Zombie stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a big influence. He was a big influence on me.
Because there's like Behold the Octopus and stuff like that and stuff, where it gets a little.
Oh yeah, Behold the. I still remember when they had that like really horrible Guitar World like Bet You Can't Shred This, and it was, and that's the guy that's like been on practically everything now. The bass player, I mean, he's producing the new Defeated Sanity. He was the guy that was in Krallis. Let me think of that fucking dude's name. I mean, God. He's done so much shit that's not good, unfortunately. Like, Krallis is not good.
The Colin guy?
Krallis is one of the bad post-black metal bands. Well, I'm sure there's more than one. There's probably
yeah. Colin Marston. He did one thing that I liked recently, which was a band called Paroxysm Unit. I thought that was pretty interesting. It was kind of like if Defeated Sanity was like played by Terminators. But yeah, Krallis, or he's also in Gorguts, and Sinithrak, Dysrhythmia, a whole bunch of other shit. But yeah, he was mainly from Behold the Octopus. I didn't even know they put out a new album recently. Yeah, no, I knew even then, when I was younger, that shit wasn't good. And I also knew this. I was not into all the guitar stuff that was coming up at that time, like Scale the Summit, which made its way for bands like Chon, Polyphia, and all the modern the prog shit that we have now. Yeah.
Yeah, where they're just like tapping the neck and they're like in a FAC, GCE tuning and shit like that.
God, I can't, like, there's this one guy, there's this one dude on Instagram that I'm friends with that he can do shit that I could never even think of, and he's in all these like strange tunings, and the only guitar that I have that I could put in like a different tuning has a tremolo on it. All my other guitars are set up for B, and the guitar that I teach on is set up in E, but it's got a tremolo on it, and they all play wild open tunings or these tunings where I'm like, I don't know how to get around the finger. I'm sure I could figure it out, but it's just like I don't know how I could get around the fingerboard.
Yeah, and then
at that point, like, but yeah, no,
like capos and shit too.
Like, what is that band? Modern Football or something?
Oh, there's like American football, and then there's
American football. Yeah. The math rock, mathcore, and what is it?
Midwestern emo.
Yeah, like all of that stuff. I mean, these guys are amazing players, and some of the music is really good. But, and I have had students come to me and ask, like, "Hey, teach me a Polyphia track," and I'm like, "Oh God." Like a beginner come to me and ask, like, "Hey, can you show me this Polyphia track?" And I remember I learned a part for this person. And it took me a bit to it was the opening bits from Goat, and I was getting it down, and it tore my right hand up so much because of the finger style of it. There's so much of it.
You're a lefty guitarist?
No. It tore up my right hand because it's not with a pick.
Oh, okay. You were like plucking it.
Yeah. So you're just tearing up because you have to use your ring finger and even sometimes your pinky.
Oh, damn.
Of your right hand, your strumming hand.
Damn.
So that's something like I've always said. If I had to lose 2 fingers, I could lose the ring and the pinky of my right hand.
Yeah, you can't. But I hold the pick with those.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just hold my pick like with my index and my thumb, and then I use my middle finger to tap. But the other thing that was so difficult was Polyphia has all of their tabs locked up, so you have to buy them in order to get them. So I was going off by year and by like other tutorials and stuff, and it's fucked that some of these people are what?
Nothing. I was just laughing at the epic fart.
Who did that?
Fred, was that you?
No,
it wasn't me.
It wasn't Fred.
Whoever smelt the Delta, Dan.
I heard an epic fart come out into my headphones.
It was you, man.
No, I mean, I don't up to it. I mean, I tell you.
I think it was you, Paul. I think you're lying to me, Paul.
I wish I could do that.
It's okay, Paul. I can't smell it. It's not a big deal.
I'll cut it out.
That's the future. That's the future. If we could get to fucking smell-o-vision, and
yeah,
I could ruin some lives. I could ruin so many lives with that. Here's something weird I'll tell you about, not to get too much off of a tangent. Although we've already done that anyway. I talk about with my bass player a lot, like dumb superpowers that we would have. And the ones that I've told him about is like, he told me about, like, he's like, this is the power that you'd have, is if I had the power to, like, telepathically make anybody's, like, smell, like, be whatever I wanted it to be, so I could just, like, telepathically throw farts into their nostrils. And his power, I told him, would be, like, he could make anybody's, like, body part spicy or hot, because he loves fucking spicy food. So we would talk, like, if we were fighting one another, I would just be, like, transporting farts into his brain, and he would just try to light my asshole on fire with, like, spice power. Yeah, we're in the weeds now.
We've been in the weed.
Yeah. But, another one would be, like, if you had the control over, liquid, and so you could make... This one would be horrific if you could do to somebody. Like, basically if you have, telepathic control over somebody's, like, bodily functions. So imagine, like, if... I can't even believe I'm saying this. Imagine if you pushed all of the shit right up to the entrance of the asshole, but stopped it there, and you refused to let them shit, and then just back up into the fucking intestines.
Just ground
that would be brutal. Yeah, well, yeah, but I'm talking, like, I'm not talking about, like, the normal amount. I'm talking about the amount of, like, the red meat that sits there for, like, decades. All of it out. Or, like, like, imagine, like, bank robbers robbing a bank, and this guy shows up, and he just makes them just start violently shitting themselves, or, like, just nutting violently at the same time. And, like, somebody's got, like, a bank teller hostage, and he just telepathically makes somebody do that. And this guy is just trying to, like, keep it together and, like, keep his gun aimed at this guy's head, and he just eventually just falls out.
That's quite the release.
This talk keeps up. I'm gonna get chubbed up over here.
If I had a superpower, it would just be getting one CD
to get chubby?
de-alphabetized in Fred's collection, and he wouldn't know which one.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no.
CDs is out of order.
Yeah, there you go.
He doesn't know which one. That's a good idea.
Or just switch the CDs in the cases.
Oh, yeah, what's even worse?
No, don't do that.
Telling me I have one that's out of order when there actually isn't. That'd be even worse.
It's like checking.
Yeah, it's like
mine are
Seinfeld, where he puts the toilet bowl cleaner in the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Mine are all alphabetized as well, but I have one further OCD quirk. I don't know if anybody has this one. I have it to where all of the CDs that are in the tray are perfectly centered to where if you did it. Yep. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Do you know how much of a relief it is to get an all-black CD? I'm like, oh, sweet.
Yeah, you don't have. You can just.
I don't have to line this shit at all.
What?
Like, I remember the Pierce the Within CD. It has the cover art on it, and I made sure to get it lined up to where it continues into like the. Yeah.
Yep.
I remember the one CD tray that scared me was if you've ever taken out your CD from Formula's Fatal to the Flesh.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys know about the insert tray? No, don't tell. Yeah, I was gonna see if, like, you guys haven't seen it before.
No.
Do you have a copy of the CD?
No, I don't.
No.
Oh my god, so dude, the first, like, I was just going through my CDs one day and I took that out and I saw that and it legitimately, like, spooked me. Because it was so I did not expect that. Like, I expected, like, some fucking, occult shit or something to do with the front cover, but it's a photo of fucking Trey coming out of his swamp.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it now. He has the microphone stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great shot.
Yeah, it's a great shot, but when you don't expect that, I mean, it's... Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I expected it either, but I can't say I had the same reaction. I'm just like, oh, okay. Why not?
Is this it, where he has his guitar, he's like in the mud?
Yes.
Suppose that's kind of shocking.
Well, I don't know why it just kind of, like, messed with me, because I just really thought that there was going to be, like...
Your heart, like, skip a beat? Did you go...
Well, no, it was just like, what the fuck? I thought that there was, like, a weird...
That? Can you imagine just
like,
watching the CD and being like...
no, yeah, like... nearly having a heart attack. It was just very strange. It was like this... It was like this one time when we read an FYE once, and we found this one Cannibal Corpse album. I can't remember which one it was because it was one of the censored album covers, but on the back of it, it had a giant pot leaf. And we're looking at it, I'm like, there's no way that... I mean, I'm talking about this pot leaf covered the entire back of the album. I'm like, that's not included with... That's not on the actual... fucking in the case or on the picture, something like that. So he brought it up front and had them open it up, and sure enough, like when the CD tray was cracked open, like it just reeked of fucking pot. It was a legit pot leaf in there. It was very strange.
Well, what you were saying about correctly.
Oh, I'm sorry, you cut out. That. Say that again.
About the CDs being aligned properly in the CD tray. Two things about that.
Yeah.
One, if the tray holder thing is too loose that it doesn't hold the CD in place and it spins too easily, it fucking kills me. And two, if the CD has multiple different ways it could be oriented and there's no defining
oh god.
Way of, like, some of the older Cogumelo albums have the typing of the band logo or the label logo a little crooked compared to each other. So I'm like, which one should be lined up straight? Is it the label logo or the band logo? And I can't stand that. It just drives me nuts.
Listeners,
this is like OCD Central here
in the chat.
Huh?
But let me tell you. Hang on. Man. I have the stack of the CDs I picked up this week right next to me, and let's see. That one's straight. That one's straight.
One of them's got to be gay.
That one's straight. That one's straight.
That got me.
Yeah, no, they're all aligned perfectly because I looked at all of them and I'm a nerd.
There you go.
I have another one like that. I have a couple idiosyncrasies, or I guess OCD things. Here's I'll go through a couple. I don't know if you guys have issues with the numerical volumes of some things. I have to have it on an even number or a number divisible by 5.
Yes. My volume on my car is always right down.
Yeah, my max is 35, which is fine. Other things are the only way for certain picks, I have to have the logo facing upwards for whatever reason. For pens, I actually will align if it's like if you take the top off and you put it on the other side, I will line it up with the logo of the pen.
Yep, I do that too. Oh my god.
There's a lot of weird autistic things.
We're kindred spirits. I found my long lost twin.
Fred is seen.
I have other stuff like I can't go to a bathroom without the shower curtain being open. I don't like the idea of somebody being behind that.
Somebody might be in there to spook you.
Yeah, exactly.
In there.
I mean, I could take
you're
Trey,
that
but...
one.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just another one is like I remember when I was a kid. This is a very common one, but it went on into my adulthood. Like I couldn't sleep if like my closet door was open.
Kind of get that one.
Yeah, you like it has to, like if I just looked out and it was just blackness, I'm like I can't do this.
Something's gonna come out of there.
Yeah, I like to sleep in pitch black darkness too. That's the other thing.
I sleep in pitch black darkness, but if there's the opening to more pitch black darkness, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. Yeah, it has to be the correct amount of darkess.
Yeah, if you don't close that closet, Trey's gonna pop.
No, that's too much dark. Too much dark.
Trey's gonna be in the swamp in there.
I'm feeling that Trey picture is gonna be on the thumbnail.
My Vizio TV, so it's never totally dark in here.
I don't even have a TV anymore. I did have I had a thing where when I had a PS3 in high school, I woke up one day and my right shoulder was killing me. And I asked my grandparents, I'm like, what the hell? Why is my shoulder hurt? They're like, you don't remember? I'm like, remember what? It's like, well, we found you the other night, and you were slamming your closet door closed. And we thought someone was breaking into the house, but I guess
you were keeping something.
And here's where there's the PS3. Here's how that comes into play. There's this thing called like a red light theory, where if you have like a small red light, like or any type of red light, that can even if your eyes are closed, that can somehow emanate into your eyes. It can activate certain parts of your unconsciousness or subconsciousness and keep you conscious, I suppose. And that's how some people have done lucid dreaming. So I still don't know what the fuck happened that night. But I was slamming my closet door. It was very strange. But yeah, I mean, I guess I was really wanting to make sure that motherfucker was closed.
Trying to keep those skeletons in. No.
Trying to keep Trey out.
Well, with that, you guys want to take a break and get into the Butcher Shoppe?
Sure.
Ye olde Butcher Shoppe.
Yep. Alright, so we'll be back in 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Alright, we're back.
And
gone. Dan posed a question for Mac.
Yeah, a horror movie that's also just a good movie. On account of, I feel like it's... I'm always kind of getting bored with horror movies. It feels like it takes too long for anything good to happen.
Especially now when we're in the era of that bullshit elevated horror fucking term.
A24.
Fucking Jordan Peele.
Yeah, Jordan Peele, there you go.
So I really enjoyed Late Night with the Devil. There were a lot of like really obscure things in that movie that tipped me off to them really doing their research with it. I like that one. That was one of the bigger movies. I just watched In a Violent Nature, and it was like if you could imagine like a slasher movie, but from the perspective of the slasher, and it's much more ambient. And almost has like ASMR qualities, which I think is a really useful thing that they could use in movies. I do recommend that, but a lot of people hated that movie because of that idea that it was.
This guy looks like one of the members of Warning.
Wait, what?
German the guy from In a Violent Nature, the way his mask kind of looks like the electronic band Warning. You might remember them.
Oh, I thought you meant the doom metal band.
No,
Warning.
The electronic one. Punch and Stench did a cover of one of their songs.
I'd have to see Okay, I'd have to see it, but yeah, he's in a pretty interesting. It's a very interesting story, and it's a very logical story. The way that it progresses, I enjoyed that. The one movie I can definitely say that was one. This is actually a movie King Fowley recommended in a lot of podcasts, and it's an older movie, and I'm going to try to think of as many of these movies as I can, but. One that I really recommend is Lake Mungo. If you've never seen Lake Mungo,
I tried with Lake Mungo. It was a little bit slow. I think my attention span wouldn't allow me to watch it. I'll probably give it another try though.
You need to give it another try, especially it's got a lot of like twists and turns and things that you're not going to expect, and it's got a scare in that movie that definitely fucked with me. And I'm usually the type of person that nothing at this point much phases me outside of Trey Azekto, apparently.
Right.
But I was getting ahead of that joke, just trying to. But let me think.
We were all thinking it.
Yeah.
If he said it.
What are some other? I usually don't go with Hollywood much anymore. Oh, I know another one that had a lot of promise, but it didn't end the way that I wanted it to. If you guys ever heard of that movie Nefarious, it was about like a demon-possessed prisoner that the psychologist had to interview for death row.
Is this a 2023 movie?
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw this or not. I saw one that was pretty good recently. I cannot remember the name of it, but it was like a woman in an insane asylum, and then there's like a dude who thinks his wife is cheating on him, but the whole thing is like they're just being experimented on, and like all their thoughts are artificially being put into their heads. I can't remember the name of this movie. It was really cool.
I don't remember. I don't think I've seen that one.
Listeners.
Smile was another one that I liked. And it's kind of funny, there's this guy that's a Christian YouTuber that took issue with that movie. And I thought that was really interesting, in particular. Why, he said Christians should not watch this movie.
Too scary, huh?
Christians said that about every movie.
No, it was about the ending. It wasn't about being too scary, actually. It was because of how dark the ending is.
Half the fun.
Let's see. Are there any that you guys have? Are there any of that you guys have seen lately that has been good to you guys?
I haven't had a lot of time to watch movies in the recent past, but this is I don't know how recent we're talking, but I always really liked The Void. That was a great movie.
Oh my god, I was thinking about that movie the other day. I want a sequel to that movie so badly because of the way that it ended.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie, I'm gonna probably watch that movie later again tonight. I've seen that movie so many times. It's so well done as like a Lovecraftian movie, and I always love movies that take place in one place. Yeah. Especially with people holed up in one place and they have to defend it. It
felt reminiscent of like a mixture of The Thing and Hellraiser mashed together.
I would also say, in a way, one of my favorite movies ever is Dog Soldiers. It's a 2002 werewolf movie. And they took influence from Aliens and Evil Dead. And it seemed like Dog Soldiers was kind of an influence on The Void because they couldn't go outside really either. They had to defend this hospital, essentially.
Yeah, it's very claustrophobic.
Yeah. Oh, God, that was such a great fucking movie. I wish that I had a list of movies that I've seen, because there's so many times where I'm up real late at night, and I just forget shit now. And Oh, okay. Oh, I'm so glad you guys asked, because now I got like some real meat for you guys to chew on. There's two directors that work together. I would say I would watch everything that they've ever done. And the two guys, their names are Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson. They did a movie back in 2012. Let me get up Wikipedia. I'll just use my phone. In 2012 called Absolution. They then did a sequel in 2014 called The Endless. And I have watched everything that they've ever been involved in. Or no, yeah, Endless came out in 2017. All of their movies, they capture the Lovecraftian thing more so than even a movie like Color Out of Space, which was a literal Lovecraftian movie. I just saw Something in the Dirt recently, and it was very good. Let's see. Oh god, I just had it in my head. My favorites probably are Resolution, The Endless, Spring, and After Midnight. But there's a lot of I try to watch horror movies, especially to just it's just something not only that I enjoy, but to get ideas from. And typically old movies are more important. Like I would say the most important kind of horror movies to me in my music, obviously are going to be Alien, Terminator, all those, but other movies, like I would say Jacob's Ladder, Exorcist 1 and 3, especially 3.
Yeah, you had mentioned Jacob's Ladder on the Occult Abyss, and I had to watch it because of that.
Jacob's Ladder is one of the best horror movies ever made, and they made a sequel that I forced my bass player to watch, and it's one of the worst movies that they ever made because it's such a travesty. It's since we're really late in the video, if anybody's watching at this point, it's your own faults, but it's an all-black remake.
An all-black remake of Jacob's Ladder?
Correct.
Okay. No Tim Robbins.
No Tim Robbins. But I'm glad you watched that. Like, did you understand, just how creepy and kind of palpable the atmosphere with that one was?
Yeah, I actually liked it a lot. It was pretty cool. I did end up watching that other movie you mentioned with, what the hell was that kid from The Shining? The Secondhand Lions movie. I ended up watching that too. Bit different.
Wait, what?
Atmosphere. Were you talking about Secondhand Lions?
I think I was, but I'm shocked. Yeah, that's an amazing, like, kids movie, but I've never... That's so weird that anybody's... I forgot about that. You brought it up on Occult Abyss. I think I did. It was a really weird tangent. I was pretty fucked up during that episode.
Okay. Well, we have some recommendations, so that's good.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to ask you guys. Do you have any for me? That I may or may not have seen?
It's hard for me to recommend movies because the...
Being There, 1979.
Oh, that's referenced by...
Snake Bones.
That's Well, no, it's also referenced by in Tropic Thunder during the Never Go Full Retard segment.
Yeah, I've never seen Tropic Thunder.
Oh my god. You need to watch Tropic Thunder.
I never saw it. Okay.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of another movie that has Dan written all over it more than that does.
Really?
That movie is another insanely quotable and just hysterical movie that they will never make again. But yeah, no, he references Peter Sellers being there. I was actually mentioning horror movies.
No,
I don't know if that's a horror movie.
I don't have any horror movies in mind.
Oh, okay.
I was just thinking of a good movie. Peter Sellers in The Party, where they paint him as an Indian, like they paint his face kind of brown, and he's an Indian wandering around at a party that he wasn't invited to. That's a funny movie. It's called The Party.
That's a plot?
Yeah, that's a plot.
God damn, I wish we could do that shit now. Dot or Tomahawk? Did you hear me?
What did you say?
Dot or Tomahawk?
A dot.
Feather of the dot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you guys have heard that expression. This is a Southern expression.
I've heard dot or feather, never tomahawk.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Like, what?
that just reminded me. Another director that you guys need to see everything by is S. Craig Joller.
Is that the Brawl in Cell Block 99 guy?
Brawl in Cell Block 99 is one of my favorite movies of all time. Yes, that is him.
Is that the same guy? Okay, yeah, that movie was fucking awesome.
That movie is like my favorite movie of 2017. I've shown everybody that movie too, but S. Craig Joller actually also, in addition to not only being a metal head, he's in metal bands.
Yeah, Realm Builder.
Yeah, and he did Bone Tomahawk and Dragged Across Concrete. He's been in many episodes of Heavy Metallurgy with Marty Worm. And one of the craziest things happened, which was, I had just mentioned a comment, like, man, it's so cool to see S. Craig Joller on here. Like, Brawl in Cell Block 99 was a really important movie for me. And he actually commented, which was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I learned about him from Hessian Firms. One of those guys that interviewed him.
Really? I need to talk to Nick about that.
It wasn't.
We've
Nick,
never talked about that.
It was one of the other contributors there.
I'll have to talk about that at least, because I mean, like, I'd love to talk to him about all sorts of things. I mean, just the fact that he's gotten to work with fucking... He made Vince Vaughn a badass and showed the world that he could act. He made an amazing Mel Gibson movie, and he made an amazing period piece with Bone Tomahawk. But Bone Tomahawk is a scary fucking horror movie. It's very realistic. Yeah. Those troglodytes remind me of that one episode of the X-Files. I don't know if you guys watch the X-Files a lot. I just remember this one episode. Well, there were these certain times in the X-Files, and these were almost like the better episodes, where they weren't concerned with aliens. And there was this episode where they found out about this inbred family, and they found the mom was like under the bed on like a slidable slab, and she had no arms and no legs, and whenever they needed like a new member of the family, they just go fuck her, like pull her out from under the bed, and like they like build up their numbers that way.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a really dark.
This is the second time incest has been brought up here.
Yeah, going fan mode.
We're going crazy. We're going crazy over here.
It all
sounds kind of cool. I want to see that X-Files episode.
It's super dark, and it's just like a change of pace, because normally it's just like a really comfy show for some people, but that episode is not comfortable. I still remember that episode as a kid, and I'm like, this is fucked.
Yeah, people are saying, I'm looking up here, it says people are saying that this is the best X-Files episode.
Oh, yeah. I never really watched the X-Files as a kid, but I don't know why. The only time like I really turned them on to see them, that's the episode that was on.
Yeah, the theme song used to scare the piss out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah. I probably need to go back and watch it, because I'm sure it's a great show, because, I mean, I love Twin Peaks.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
I mean, I love David Lynch in general. I mean, that's... Oh, and a horror movie I'm looking forward to is the Nosferatu remake.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
Yeah. And I really want to go see it. Well, I also wanted to go see this last week. I wanted to go see Longlegs.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna see
so
that.
Did Robert, we're gonna have to see that eventually. Nicolas Cage is in that, I think.
Yeah. Which that's another movie. Is Mandy was probably one of the best movies he's ever done.
Yeah, that one was a little bit slow for me.
I didn't like it as much
I didn't like
as I thought I would.
Renfield just sucked.
I didn't really like Renfield, but it took me. I didn't like Mandy at first, but I don't know if you who saw Panos Cosmatos' first movie called Beyond the Black Rainbow. Beyond the Black Rainbow was literally the plot to Stranger Things season 1 that those guys stole. And the movie has a really slow, hypnotic feeling, and that's what Mandy kind of had to it. But I really, really enjoyed Mandy after a couple more times watching it. And just a cool thing about it is the axe that he makes in that movie is the F from the Celtic Frost logo.
Yeah. I did enjoy that. Still, overall though, I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. I don't remember what it was about it. Maybe Dan's right; it was a bit too slow for me as well. But
it's a slow burn.
Yeah. I just remember being disappointed with it.
Which I like. I remember my bass player Avery and I. We have this joke that we found where it's like you're with a girl and you're wanting to show her a movie, and it's like, hey, let's watch this movie that's 3 hours long, and nothing good happens.
I mean, I like slow burn movies. Like my favorite movie is Blade Runner. Blade Runner, for God's sake. But
yeah,
I don't know. It didn't do much for me.
Huh. Well, it didn't do much for me the first time I watched it. Just try it again one night.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, I saw it back when it came out, so it's been a while. Maybe I'll like it if I saw it again. I don't know.
But yeah, just oh God, with horror movies, I can't really think of much more right now other than going into classics. Obviously, there are some other things that I can recommend, like. I think the thing that scared me the most as a kid wasn't even a horror movie. And it was actually the way that I learned about horror movies. And when I was a kid, there was this channel that had this kind of like, not anthology, but countdown show. And it was on Bravo channel called Scariest Movie Moments. And I saw it when I was pretty young, around 11 or 12. And at the time, it was made in 2004, and it was the top 100 scariest movie moments. And the atmosphere of the show, and the music of the show, and just the way that it was made, really creeped me out. And the combination of the movies that they had in it, and they had movies that you wouldn't see anywhere else. Like, that's how I learned about, like, Takashi Miike and Audition, or, first time seeing Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all that stuff. And I recommend going and watching that list, because it's a great way to find out about some older horror movies that you'd never learn about, but also it's just a really creepy thing to see in general. Well, a couple years ago, Shudder decided to do 101 scariest movie moments, and they had kind of like an updated list. This just reminded me, another really scary movie was When Evil Lurks, which was this Argentinian horror movie. Very good. If you can sit through captions, that is.
Yeah, possibly. I'm putting it in the liked videos here. That way.
But yes, I don't.
Someday I'll get through all these.
Yeah, it's. I used to watch like a new movie every day, but I can't do it anymore. It's more about just like podcasts and other bullshit.
Yeah, an album a day at least.
I couldn't do that either.
Yeah,
that would fucking kill me. Yeah. Like, if I had, like, I don't like the guy, but I couldn't do what Needle Drop does.
Like, even like Grizzly Butts, where he's like doing fucking 5 or 6 albums like a week and like writing reviews about every single one. It's like, yeah, how many times are you listening?
Well, Here's the other thing. He doesn't actually really review music because I'll show you how. If you go to any of his reviews, especially of metal music, you're going to see the same things. The guitars are going to sound crushing. It's going to sound massive. It's going to be all these fucking adjectives except what the music's actually about.
It's gonna be
it doesn't talk about the music ever. What?
I said it's going to be a punch to the gut.
Yeah. Anyway, would you guys like to move to the album of the episode?
Yeah, what are we here for today?
What we got?
Yeah.
I recommended to these gentlemen a particularly strange album that I came about in kind of a weird way, called Butcher... the album is called Meat, by the band Butcher Shoppe, spelled the English way. The way I found out about this album was... I'm subscribed to a lot of guys who have pretty massive collections. And there's this one guy that I'm subscribed to, and I had to actually go and search for it today. I had to search for the name of it. It took forever because his name is in the V's and all my subscriptions are alphabetical. And his channel is called Vampire Choir. Guy has a batshit insane amount of albums. He has entire church pews full of albums because he lives in a church.
Oh, I know this guy.
And
I'm friends
and
with him on Facebook.
Yeah, he's a really cool dude. I was going through his alphabetical series, and it was on B, and he showed Butcher Shoppe Meat, and I'm like, what is that? Because I heard the name, and I'm like, I love the name, I love the album title, and then I saw the cover, I'm like, this is sick. And then I started listening to it. I had it on the car one day, and I'm on like a pretty long trip. It was like not too long, I guess, for some people, but like it was like a hour away. And I had the album on, and it's the first time ever that I found myself like laughing at some of the directions that this album goes, because it is, in a way, this is like more diverse than even like a macabre album.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're getting a lot of different musical genres other than death metal. And there's also nothing about this band whatsoever online. But, yeah. That Ren and Stimpy fucking, like, yeah, the samples that they use in this are great, because Natural Born Killers is one of my favorite movies. But yeah, like, I wanted to hear your guys...
Chris Tucker thing.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fuck out.
Fuck out. I actually want to hear, like, what were your guys' perceptions of this album, or, like, initial perceptions of it, hearing the name, and then the title, and then the cover, and then the album?
Frego.
I was surprised at how complex the music was, given the album title and the artwork. I was really expecting, like...
Mortician.
Yeah, really knuckle-dragging shit, but I had a hard time placing it, likely because of that discrepancy between what it looks like and what it sounds like. But for the most part, I kind of got, like... The bands that came to front of mind were, like, Blood Ritual, maybe a little bit of Deicide, but with a really twangy bass that I really like. What was the other one that came... I kind of got like Infernal Torment vibes here and there.
I love Infernal Torment.
Yeah, I was listening to that album earlier today.
Denmark, the Denmark death metal scene. That's why I recommended Iniquity Serenadium, and I love all the Denmark scene. But I don't. What did you say? Blood Ritual?
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up real quick. I've actually not really listened to them. Deicide, I could definitely hear.
Well,
I've not really heard.
Early Blood Ritual's a lot like early Deicide, just longer songs.
Is it from U.S.?
Yeah, they're American. The first album's At the Mountains of Madness.
Oh, no. I do know these guys, because these are on the same label as Infestors To the Depths. Yeah, Moribund Records. I do have both of these albums.
They're really
yeah, these albums are great. Yeah.
Shit, I remember this too. I remember that guy. Oh, and his album.
Yeah,
holy shit.
The
Okay,
band,
I remember
photo.
this one too.
Yeah, band photo's great.
The band photo and then the album with the naked chicks on it. Yeah, it's all coming
Someone
back.
found Photoshop.
Yeah, like this is yeah, Odin Thompson produced this. Because he owns Moribund. I actually messaged him once about Blood Ritual and Infestor, and I asked him about Infestor especially because of how much I love that album and band, and he doesn't remember a goddamn thing.
Well, you know, one of the best things that the guy in Blood Ritual has done is actually the cover art for Inquisition's '98 album, and I love that artwork.
Hold up.
Into the infernal regions.
Wait a minute, what the what?
He did the artwork.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Confirmed.
And these obviously are so much better than the album covers that they've put on now.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, the where they wanted all the album covers to look the same practically.
I like Bishop's
and
profile picture on Metal Archives here.
With the fucking like early internet 1.0.
No, but like
a
when they
bar with a little candle.
So this might be a hot take, I don't know, but like, don't get me wrong, Paolo Girardi is an amazing artist, but I am sick of seeing his covers.
I'm not. I don't really even think of him as like a great artist. I remember the way that I learned about the way he went about his art was that it's kind of very industrial or factory like. He works with way too many fucking browns. Like the artists that I really can't stand now are like him, Ellerin Cantor, and there's other ones that I'm sick of it. Paolo Girardi especially. He's just it just looks muddy.
The cover artwork he did for the new Verathron actually I really liked. That one looked good, and it wasn't brown at all. So that was. I think that's why
I think we're all.
It didn't look like one of his.
Oh, you're right. It actually has some other colors in here. Yeah. But I can still, I can definitely still tell it's.
You can, but like at first glance, you don't like see all the usual colors that you see in his work, so it's not like smackingly obvious like it is on like I don't know any other cover he's done.
Yeah, because he's done. I'm trying to think of like some of the ones that's coming to mind immediately.
I hate the Inquisition reissue albums on Season of Mist, like Infernal Regions and Invoking the Throne, and like it's just like this demon in a cave, and on each one it's a different demon facing a different direction. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I guess the one that comes to my mind is Catilist with Ladernia Crepuscule.
Oh yeah, that's a good album.
Whatever that is, that cover is. But yeah, getting back to the. Oh yeah, you guys keep going. I want to hear everybody's opinion. Like, keep going with the the album. Whoever wants to go next. Yeah.
That was my initial thought. Someone else. Paul, go.
All right. Well, Mac let us know to listen to this album. I was on an airplane. I downloaded it. I was like, all right. So I'm just sitting down. That's the only thing I could do is look forward and listen to this album. And yeah, when I turn it on, I'm like, all right. I'm expecting some sort of like some sort of unhinged, like brutal death metal or something. So the first song, it's like, all right. And then the second song just like floors me with just how melodic it is. And then with the samples and everything just thrown into it, just like, all right, these guys have a sense of humor. And then just not being able to find anything about these guys, or, you know, they're obviously in other bands, but I didn't get the chance to check out any of them. And like just with how melodic and their use of like clean guitar and stuff in like intros of songs, there's just like, the first thing that came to mind was like Vehemence, but in a much more like tongue-in-cheek kind of way, instrumentally. Like,
wait, which Vehemence?
Like God's Created.
Really?
Yeah, because they had this has like suffocation moments like that does, but these guys, you know, Vehemence is like more like neoclassical, where these guys are a little bit more, I don't know. I think they're just way more aggressive with how they play like melodic death metal.
Oh yeah, well I mean also Butcher Shoppe aren't like school shooters.
Yeah.
I have that Vehemence album, but it just, like, the song titles to the, I mean, not the album cover or anything like that, or even the album title, but a lot of the other song titles, you know, it definitely, you could make a joke with that fucking one Family Guy thing where Peter's listening to Lionel Richie, and he's like, "Who hurt you?" And that's exactly what you could put with all of Vehemence's stuff. Yeah, is who hurt you? Yeah.
I didn't kill her. No, but they have like some very like, this was like a really early album for me. The God Was Created, like, just like lyric wise, when I was like in middle school, just trying to write my own lyrics as a just like a pure vocalist at that point. It was like, that took a lot of inspiration from that shit. That and like Devourment.
So women were really on your chopping block. Have you seen the Devourment women's rights shirt?
No, I've seen the cat one though.
Hold up, look up Devourment women's rights. And then look at the back of the shirt.
Still on?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
For women's rights.
Did you see the back?
That's funny. It's a pun.
Give us some laughs.
You can't get.
Give us some laughs.
You can't get that shirt nowadays. I would love to get that shirt.
Do they sell it anywhere? Or
no?
Some guys on T-Shirt Slayer have it, but those guys.
Oh yeah.
For sale.
That, I mean, those shirts were sold like over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Back when back when people had a sense of humor.
But yeah, like, this album was definitely pleasant to listen to. Like, it seemed like almost every song had a different vibe to it. And yeah, I was like really blown away with you know, how something like this underground is like right up my alley. Like, with just blending in the brutality with the melodicism, which is like always a fine line that I like, where it's like bands like Intestine Balism or something, they'll just like go from one dynamic to the next, where these guys were like just playing the melodic shit so brutally.
Oh, definitely. I'll get my thoughts after who's left, I guess. Dan the Man.
Yeah, I mean, like initially just by looking at the artwork, it reminded me of the Clit Eater mascot. If you remember, everybody remembers that band. I think they were like from the Netherlands, gore grind, porno grind kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I sort of expected some kind of gore grind like Carcass. Just looking at this, and I guess the first song it wasn't too surprising that it's like pretty suffocation sounding, but yeah, by the second song it totally shifts into a bit more like technical melodic territory. And when Paul, you mentioned to me Vehemence, that totally makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Because this is sort of like approaching. It's 99, so it makes total sense that it's like this new type of melodic death metal that is kind of retaining the brutality of just like straightforward death metal, and some of the new innovations that are coming in. I guess like Garden of Shadows might be another one of these like more modern type of like brutal melodic death metal type of bands. MacCauley maybe, Autumn Leaves from Denmark probably, and then what's that other?
Obviously the melodic infamous band.
Argosland?
The man, the myth, the legends of Argosland.
Mm.
Yeah, possibly. Oh, yeah, they might fit in here in this list too.
Well, you mentioned MacCauley, and like immediately, like I went to Argosland.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't really think Argosland in particular, just because they are so much more like
they're like mid-pace and like
they're mid-pace. They're kind of heavy metalish. There's not really much actual death metal in their music.
Yeah.
Whereas like MacCauley is still sort of an actual death metal band. Even something like
Oh yeah,
it's like rooted more in Cataclysm sort of thing.
Yes, exactly. There was another band that kind of fits in this too. Canadian band Cephaloectomy. I think.
Oh yeah.
Paul,
I was thinking about them too.
Something like Cephaloectomy. Something like the Corpse Grinder project, Paths of Possession. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit too.
How do you spell that, cephaloectomy?
Let's see. How do you spell
CEPHALEC?
Oh, it's like so.
Yeah, if you haven't heard that shit, Mac, it's like fucking incredible.
No, I've not heard that yet.
Really? You'll like it, dude. It's like melodic kind of tech death stuff. It's like early Cataclysm, but maybe amped up.
Yeah, listen to the album Eclipsing the Dawn.
Oh yeah, the band played a mix of epic technical black death grind and progressive metal. Their self-described style of northern mystic grind was highly inspired by Sylvain Hode era Cataclysm. The only era of Cataclysm.
Yeah, that band is cool. A band I brought up on the show before that this also reminds me of a little bit with all the melodicism and things. Psychiatric Regurgitation, that like kind of mixture of brutal death and sort of the necrophobic type of music. And those would have been the guys who sent Dead Rats with their CD box set, or their like whatever. So you got a Dead Rats in the mail. Yeah. But I guess as we go on and listen to some songs, I'll have a little bit more to say. But that's my initial thoughts here.
Yeah, I think the more I was gonna say is like probably like Deranged, but they're a little bit more on the like brutal side, where these guys are like leaning more into like their guitar techniques and melodic voicings.
Oh, one more thing, if I can say, it's sort of a confusing thing.
We'll allow it,
because like, yeah, you look at the album cover, looks a bit silly. You hear the music, it's sort of serious. Then you hear like a couple songs in, gets silly again, and then it gets melodic. There's like so many contradicting ideas. Then you got the samples, and you got this. It's like serious, silly, serious, kind of funny. It's an interesting dynamic.
You can make out some of the lyrics too with the voicings. I think it was on what was it, the Freak of the something?
Freak of the Week, yeah.
A lot of
it sounds like a World Star Hip Hop like video or something.
Freak of the Week.
Yeah.
Here's my kind of interpretation of it. I guess it's a little bit different, but the way that I heard the first track and I'm like, okay, we've got some very good, capable death metal. It's got a really good production. Bass is audible. These guys can all play. When the second track hits and they start going off in almost like a Mr. Bungle direction, where they switch genres up, because it sounds to me like a 50s crooner type of song. But then they put the distortion over the arpeggiation, and that's what makes it more like that kind of melodic death metal type sound. And I was really surprised by it. And listening to it recently, it just... this album and band, to me, seems like, more than anything, it wasn't even necessarily like a band, but it almost seems like this was a project, and that these guys were only going to do this album, and it was like they wanted to put all of their musical influences and aspirations into one thing, but still primarily be death metal.
Yeah, it seems to work.
Yeah, I could see that. That's that kind of reminds me of that Dead Jesus album I picked up a while ago. Paul, Dan, remember I picked that up randomly? I'm like, this is like every style of death metal slammed into one album. It's just bizarre. And it is kind of a similar vibe to this, yeah.
And I was gonna say, I can understand like them doing this one-off, because if you look in the band photo, you got Keanu Reeves like, you know, simultaneously filming The Matrix at this time.
The guy on the left.
No, the guy on the way right, kneeling down, he looks like Keanu.
Oh, okay. What's the only one? Here's kind of what's weird is the one that seems like is the only active guy is Tony Angle, who's in an active band called Grave Rain with vocals. But when I had asked about this album on I can't remember what video it was, the vocalist Jeremy Munn had responded to me saying like, hey, yeah, I've got copies of it. And I'm like, oh, could I buy it? Could I buy one? It's like, oh no, we don't have any physical ones left, but we got digital ones. Like, oh, could I buy those, like get the real tracks? And there's just radio silence. And I want you to understand that this YouTube correspondence went over the course of years. Like it would take a long time to where I forgot about it.
Probably forgot his password, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in." Sees a little
bit, and he forgot it. He forgot twice because like the other responses took a long fucking time.
He's always Butcher Shoppe 666. What's the problem? He's like, "Oh, I forgot the P and the E."
Yeah. There's a lot of other metal styles too on here. Is the cool thing.
Yeah. Well, should we hop into a song and just see, you know, what it's all about?
Sure. What would we like to go into first? And just tell me. I'm going by the YouTube video, so just give me like a timestamp.
Yeah, why don't we go to Bloody Onion, because that seems to be the turning point, a very sharp turn at the album
for everybody. Yeah.
So we'll be right back.
Kind of like that song title too.
back from listening to that Bloody Onion.
That sucked.
There was a part during that song where they like kind of bring in the pinch harmonic like really hard. It was like it reminds me of some Swedish band. I can swear it's fucking Cryptic Kerberos off that World of Myths album. Because they kind of do that too, where it's sort of a straightforward death metal mix, but there's still like kind of neoclassical melodic ideas thrown in there too.
Yeah, and I think the guitars here just like doing separate melodic ideas over each other, not only just doing like providing a rhythm, but like just totally different leads over sections and still leaving room for solos and shit is like just top notch.
The thing that's shocking is just how good all of them are.
Yeah.
And it's so weird that you have a band that's put in this much fucking time only to stop. Like, we did this one thing and that's it. And no one knows about it.
Yeah.
These guys don't even have a demo, right?
No.
No, they have nothing else.
Just a full length.
Yeah, 1999, and Mac was saying, like, this was at a time where death metal, you know, it was already dead. It's been dead, and it's, like, not popular. And with them, like, fusing these sort of genres together is, like, you know, I don't know, it's just, like, a great synthesis. Like I was saying, just brutal death metal and melodic death metal are my favorite genres, and when someone does it this well, it's, like, just perfection for me.
Yeah, this really is kind of like a precursor to that psychiatric regurgitation, isn't it? Because it's like looking at those album covers, you wouldn't expect what lies inside. Like they have an album called "Stabbed in the Eye with a Crack Pipe," but it sounds like beautiful, like pretty melodies and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the like melodic ideas here, like even the shapes here, they reminded me of the first. A Cantorus Quintet album, the Swedish band. The like speed.
That's a great album and band.
Yeah, it seems like those are some of the maybe not an influence, but some of those ideas are like coming into the same just coming into this album sort of the same way, maybe by accident.
Yeah, and like we were saying at the beginning, it's like just like total later era death guitar intros, and then like drumming.
That fucking guitar tone. Yeah, it totally is.
And then the drumming on top of it, just like I don't know, it cements it more to being.
It's not quite as busy as Richard Christie, like Mac was saying, but it's.
But that's a good thing because I think that.
I think it brings it more down to earth, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but it actually wants to be death metal, whereas the last thing Chuck wanted to be, especially at that time, was death metal.
Yeah.
I got my kitty shirt on.
Yep. Did you guys see the I think it was I think it was Leprosy. For the 35th anniversary, they released that you can get that death shirt with those kitties on it. And there's a pink version. There's a pink version of the Leprosy shirt now. DMU had it as one of the articles.
Probably one of the what are those sadistic metal reviews, right?
No, it was just Brett talking about it. Speaking of which, what's funny is like when we took that bathroom break, Brett had just emailed me back about something. Because I didn't know he had a Wikipedia page.
Is that guy that Joe was talking about? What's his name?
Who?
Brett, the dude from DMU.
Oh yeah, Brett Stevens. He's basically he's basically the guy when it comes to. I mean, I don't know where I could begin with that guy really, but he's ground zero for any of this collating of death metal or doing proper reviews or bringing to light a lot of these bands. And then there's a lot of infamy and myth and stories around all of it. Obviously, Nick used to write for DMU, and there's a lot to it, and it'd be a lot to get into, like way more than what we have tonight. But I just mentioned it because there was just an article about those death shirts getting that kitty shirt.
But
I don't own any death shirts anymore.
Oh man.
But
I'm looking at that.
Yeah, Fred, did you think this sucked, or was that your only thought there, that it sucked?
No, that was pretty much it.
Oh,
no,
man.
the more I look at this album cover, I was saying this earlier, the more I look at this album cover, the more I hate it, because it does such a disservice to the album. It's so much more complex than the cover suggests. And because when you look at this, like, it looks like it should be straight up either gore grind or like a Cannibal Corpse ripoff. Like, I don't know if you guys remember Mortem from Russia with the album Amputator. A great album. The album cover is just a pile of severed arms in a hospital ward. And it could not be,
and they're thrown against the wall, right?
Yeah, and it could not be more like stereotypical Cannibal Corpse kind of fare, but it works for them because that's what they sound like anyways. This sounds nothing like what it looks like. There's so much more going on in this music, and in addition to what I mentioned prior to us listening to this track, like the comparisons to Later Death, I hear it. I don't think they're quite as complex as Death was, so I kind of dropped like the first Capharnaum album as a reference point, and that is a bit less technical than Death went, and that's kind of what I'm hearing here. But the melodies as well are kind of just reminding me of some of the Swedish bands too. Like it lurches all over the place. It's a lot more than meets the eye, which is why the cover is pissing me off the more I look at it.
I just had like a thought, which is I think truly that they did this album cover, the band name, and the album name as almost as like ironic or to subvert your expectations. I think it was purposeful if you think about it. Like they called, the band name Butcher Shoppe, so like you're thinking death metal. They called it Meat, so you're really thinking knuckle dragging rudimentary death metal with a guy chopping up meat with a girl with her tits out and a fucking D&D sword. And then they have this like very complex music, which I would say is actually more complex than the death stuff, because when I was 16, I was learning all of... I could play most of those albums back to front that young, and the Sound of Perseverance is much less complex than you might think. I'd actually say this goes a little bit further than Sound of Perseverance, because the way that the melodies are layered, Chuck, he didn't really do that. He more functioned in almost like a power metal type of harmony.
Yeah, Fred.
Yeah, he really did.
That makes sense. He was leaning towards
rhythms.
He was leaning towards the band Controlled Night pretty heavily, right? And that was more in that vein.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know. I haven't listened to Sound of Perseverance in probably 15, 20 years because I hate that album so much.
Yeah, you don't. You're not.
I hate.
Oh my! Yeah, good God, that's what killed him.
Well, that and Symbolic, like those two albums, like just his vocals make me want to just shoot myself in the face.
Well, I don't. No, I'm not actually joking when I say his vocals killed him. There was a thought that's actually, with so many years of improper vocal technique and him changing them so drastically time after time, that there was a theory that that's why the tumor formed at like the base of his spine or like in the back of his neck or something like that. But then again, DMU told the real reason is which Chuck died of AIDS.
Yeah, maybe he did die of AIDS. Was wearing the kitty shirt after all.
If I were to pick a song, and it's kind of funny, it's actually the next track. I really want to talk about "Freak of the Week" because I just think it's it's a catchy song, but it's also just, it really. Oh man, let me back it up to 10-12 if we do check this one out.
No,
unless any of you guys want to pick something.
No, we usually go in chronological order anyway, so that'll be next. You guys ready for that?
Okay. All right, just tell me when.
All right, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Alright, we're back from
there's the
Freak of the Week, and I think it's Dan.
What the fuck was that?
No, Freak of the Week
Dan.
is
What do you mean you
Vince.
think it's Dan? Oh, you meant I was the Freak of the Week.
Yeah, it's Vince actually.
Did I do anything freaky this week?
Drove us out in the desert. I said no.
I did. I said not to. We went off-roading. We were driving home from the band practice, and right next to our friend's neighborhood, there's like, you know, one of those side like desert things where they have little trails, and we were. I told Paul, I was like, should we go out there? Should we go off-roading? He goes, no, and I go anyways.
Yeah,
I guess that was kind of freaky.
Freak. But the song was freaky. It's looks like we just came out of a carnival tent after that.
It reminds me of that video game, and this would have been around that same time, but do you guys remember that arcade shooting video game, Carnival?
Yes.
I don't know.
It's like a light gun shooting game that was in arcades, and you what's interesting is you shot at people that look similar to the Butcher on the album cover. And just because it's also about a carnival, but yeah, this song is like they completely brought in like a major key, like 50s chord progression, and just stacked the distortion on it and made it work melodically to where it was instead of being like endearing or about love, this was just as we've used the term before, like in mockery of whatever the subject of the song is, which clearly it's actually about something to be mocked just by the display of it.
Yeah, and it seems like, yeah, the beginning was like this Red Hot Chili Peppers sort of intro, and then now that I'm thinking about it, like there was like one main riff in here that was like comparable to Argusland. Like at first I was like, I don't really hear that, but like it sounded a lot more thrashier and heavy metal here. And you know, when they got deeper and deeper past the, you know, the elephants and the tigers and whatnot.
You know, and this is this is something that is really interesting all the time when people are reviewing music and they bring up other artists that they're saying like, oh, well, this sounds like this. I always wish that I could I could ask the bands, like, were you listening to this at that time? Because I'd put money on it that Butcher Shoppe were not listening to Argusland or even knew who they were.
No, nobody was in '99.
No, I don't think so.
No, the only person who was Corpse Grinder, because he had that shirt.
Yes, exactly. He did.
And nobody asked him about that.
I'm telling. I'm telling.
Nobody's canceled him.
Can't cancel that
The neck, dude. It's uncancelable.
Yeah.
Imagine that on a geese.
But
On a guillotine.
it just gets stuck.
Yeah. Get stuck on that meat. But yeah, this
Sure
this song, man, it's like when you thought it was even more subversive from the first song to the second, like this one, it's like, all right, just throw the towel in. Like this band, this musicianship is like so on another level where they're able to like incorporate this sort of shit into like a death metal track and have the later half sound completely different, but with having, like you said, those like major keys, chords, and just like those note choices that are just like ear candy pretty much. But it's like, damn, am I supposed to be like hopping around or like banging my head?
Or both.
Yeah.
I
remember.
right.
I'm trying to remember what it was called.
Bungle, that's totally on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the I'm trying to remember what it's called in oh, that's what it is. It brings to mind calliope music that you would actually hear at carnivals. Anton LaVey knew how to play one, the calliope. It was that you all know the sound of it. It's that kind of like, I think, I don't know, woodwind or brass instrument or something. It's that sound you hear at a carnival or something. It's got like really chromatic kind of melodies.
Well, LeVay used it on the Satanic Mass recording, didn't he?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because he was like he was a carnival barker early in life. And also, funnily enough, kind of interesting little side note, is he did not like metal.
Well, that's his problem.
Yeah, I know, right? Even though he was on that first Asheron album.
Yeah.
Poser. Charlatan. No, just kidding.
But Fred, what did you think about this?
This song's... I have the hiccups, too. It's just fucked. Like...
but in a good way.
He liked it.
Yeah, I know, it's in a good way, but like... You have no idea where this thing's going next, and that's what I like about it. Like,
no.
Especially after hearing the last song, it's such a departure in such a random direction. It still fits their style, but it's doing something completely different, which I guess kind of is their style to begin with. It's a wild listen. The carnival comparisons are like spot on, and I couldn't help but think there was a meme that came out back when the album came out, but there was a Nargaroth album called Jarazaitan, and that one had a part in one of the songs that sounded like a carnival or an ice cream truck, and someone took part of that song and made a YouTube video out of it with a clown dancing around, and that's all I could think of listening to this song. And it fits. Like, I don't know why this works, because it's such a ridiculous sound for death metal, but it
shouldn't work
naturally and well. No,
yeah.
It shouldn't. But here I am sitting here enjoying it while thinking of a clown dancing around. But I'm just impressed with how smoothly they transitioned throughout every part of that song, because it really felt like a constant flow, like a stream of consciousness that was seamless. And it was a stream of consciousness through absolute insanity.
Yeah, and I think I gotta say, like, about this, it's like, I feel like this band, like, if you were to, like, have a moniker of, like, progressive, experimental, or, like, avant-garde, it seems like they sort of are, like, under the radar of, like, bands you would commit to those labels as more on, like, the, like, pretentious side of like, death metal, where these guys are, like, actually, you know, fit right in with, like, bands like, just, like, image-wise and with their, you know, status in, like, underground of like, just normal brutal death metal bands or something, you know? But, like, these guys are, like, avant-garde at points, but not... That's not the only, you know, tool in their toolbox. They're not hitting you over the head with circus music every song and shit.
Well, the thing that's so strange is, like, you mentioned
regular instruments too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the avant-garde label is and isn't appropriate, because I don't know what you'd categorize these guys other than, I suppose, death metal or like, I don't know if you'd put that various genre tag or but it's not like it's not something like Demolic, which have the avant-garde tag to it.
I think probably just experimental, if anything. That's because it just goes off like they have their core sounds, but they're have such a broader horizon than you'd expect, and it all sounds like it's coming from the same musicians rather than like coming out from like different sessions or like having guest musicians join in and add to a song. It's like these guys are just all capable of this and are able to restrain themselves or let themselves be free, all within the same album.
Experimental is probably the best kind of tag. Because it reminded me immediately of Dripping.
Yeah.
And kind of how they would use literal other genres, like other samples of music.
Yeah, throwing like hip hop and shit.
Their work. Yeah. Well, one of the things that they did was one of the best samples that they ever did was this Greek band that they used called Stoa. It was I can't remember what track it was on, but it's like it's got this the track ends with this really beautiful piano and like female singer over it, very mournful. If you have 20, like I advise anybody, if you have 22 minutes, listen to the Dripping album.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to see that live too.
Yeah, I heard about, like, I imagine that was amazing.
I'm sure they're playing a lot in your area because they're playing in they're like in Florida mainly now, so I can imagine them going to
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were still in like New Jersey.
No, they just played like a New Jersey death metal fest, I believe like earlier this year, and then they just been playing a lot like in Florida.
What was that set like? Did they only do the album?
Yeah, and it was probably one of the best like brutal death metal shows that I've been to this period. It was like such a like nice intimate venue. It was like big enough, for the amount of people that were there, but not like weren't sardines in there. We were close enough to the stage and it sounded great, and they were just like such a tight band, even like weaving the like samples into their like set and shit. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. If you see them around, check them out, dude.
I will. If I don't go to too many shows, but there's certain like that'd be a band that would be special enough to go to a show.
Yeah, that's gonna spawn another project for you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the last thing I need is another fucking project. I mean, it's so I only have two, but even so, I push people really hard, and it can get it just gets difficult. Like especially getting older, it's getting harder and harder to perform this stuff.
Oh yeah.
But who? I know you guys usually do three. Who would like to pick a third track?
You got one, Dan or Fred?
I'll let Dan pick because when I listened to the album, I was driving. I couldn't see the timestamps, so I'm not sure which tracks
you gotta pull
are the
over.
ones that stood out to me.
When you like it, you gotta pull
over.
Is that what you did for the Chrono Trigger soundtrack? You pulled over when you were like, "Oh, this is dingly nice."
Well, yeah. When I was listening to the 10 hours of the corridor time, I was like, "All right, something's up with the car." But Dan, you have one?
Yeah, I just wanted to say to Fred, I also like that Yaris Zetan Nargaroth album. That one's got some wacky sounds on it.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, all songs about the seasons. It might be the second one you were talking about, Frühling. I always describe that as like, it sounds like reggae, like played by a black metal band. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I've been looking for that video on YouTube for a while now, and I guess it must have been taken down. But I think you're right. I think it is spring or summer, whatever the fuck that season is. Because it's like one of the happier seasons, and it's kind of
I think it's tracked
represented ridiculously in the music.
Yeah, exactly. What do you guys rather do? The song Destiny, which is a like 4-minute melodic song, or Meat, which is, if I'm remembering correctly, a little bit more like, that was like kind of the instrumental, wasn't it? Meat?
That was the one with like the really long sample.
That was one with
the Ren and Stimpy sample.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Destiny seems, I think that's shorter, around 3 minutes 20 something. Meat is a little bit longer. I mean, I'm good either way.
All right, Fred, you pick.
Yeah. Destiny or Meat?
Me?
Yeah, it's like the Tenacious D. Destiny?
Destiny. Let's go Destiny.
Okay.
He said it.
All right, we'll be right back.
Damn, that ending.
That song just flew by.
Yeah, it's like just
another
band again, where it's just like, what? Like they just like
they went super brutal on that one.
Yeah, bouncing in between deicide and suffocation. Yeah, they were.
That roll at the top still was sick.
Oh yeah, because it was just progressing faster and faster. Like at first I didn't realize it was like a full like roll until you hear the lower tones of the toms, and it just keeps going faster. It's like almost doing like triplet, like kind of like a Joy Jordison kind of roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking like this drummer. It doesn't have to be said, but he's no slouch.
I want to see. Let me check this. What each of these guys have done. Yeah, the drummer did nothing else. Can you imagine getting to that level and just stopping?
Yeah, this guy's like 49 years old now.
Yeah.
I mean, he might still be playing drums, just not in metal bands, right? They wouldn't necessarily.
Yeah, exactly.
But Metal Archives.
Yeah, but imagine being in like a church band, week after week after week after week,
just gospel chops.
And what you're capable of. Oh no, I was not even saying that. I was just saying like white church.
Oh.
It's funny though, like that happens, right? Like one of my favorite drum performances in death metal is Rick Corbett on Into Cold Darkness by Vital Remains, and that's the only metal album he was involved in, period. I think he did like some bass work on a demo or something, but that's it. I might even just been backing vocals on the demo, I don't know, but that was his only drum performance in anything related to death metal. And I think like a year ago I found him on Instagram and shot a message. We chatted for a bit, and he's still doing music. He's mostly into singing now, but like
what?
One single drum performance is just awesome.
That is so strange. Like, the one guy who did guitars on this album, Tony Angle, the guy that's still active, his latest band, Grave Rain, he's only doing vocals. So it's kind of weird. It's the same kind of thing to, like, go from this technical thing to just what you weren't doing.
Yeah, and you know, to add to that, it's a heavy metal band he's doing vocals for.
It's sad, though, to me, like, guys like this or Mike Davis of Nocturnus, you get to this level and then you go back to everyday life. It's the same thing that I imagine a guy who went off to war, like who went off to Vietnam and was trained to kill people, and you have to come back and deal with people on a day-to-day basis when you're equipped for this specific thing. Like, you can kill people either musically or literally, and now you have to deal with the boring banality of everyday life.
Yeah, they don't know they're dealing with the Butcher.
What a bummer, you can't kill people.
Yeah. I think I remember there was like a little cartoon. It was really funny. It was like a 4-panel cartoon of a guy. He had like long blonde hair and a beard, and he's in like the Vietnam woods with a knife, and like he slits a guy's throat, and it cuts to like him and his day to day, and he's balding, and he's with his wife at the mall.
That's not the cartoon that came with the Jungle Rot CD, is it? Or comic strip?
I have no idea. I'm not really into Jungle Rot too much.
No, but they had like that one demo. What was it called? Slaughter of the Week,
Killing
I think.
Spree?
No, it was like it was not
Rip off your face. Skin the Living.
Skin the Living, yeah.
Oh, Skin the
That
Living
came
was
with some copies of that came with a comic book. That what's the guy on the cover's name? that sergeant that's on the cover, he's on the cover of Slaughter of the Week as well, and they just had a whole character built out for him, and that comic that came with it kind of fleshed it out.
Is the demo and the album, are they the same thing?
For Skin the Living?
Yeah.
I believe so. I'm pretty sure the CD is just a reissue of the demo cassette, but presented as an album.
Okay. Because it's the same track listing and then everything, just with the cover kind of blown up. But no, yeah, it does. That's kind of weird. Is this a good album or?
I like it. Like Jungle Rot, as a whole, they're very, very. I
simple.
hate this term, but they're meat and potatoes. Like if you pick any other albums and throw it on, you're not gonna complain about it, but you might not remember it a week from now. Skin the Living and Slaughter of the Week are my favorites that I've heard, and they're solid.
Track 4 is pretty solid.
Which one?
Track 4, Killing Spree.
Oh yeah. But I do not have that comic book. Oh, you know what? Actually, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it came with Slaughter of the Week, because that was actually their proper album. Yeah, it came with Slaughter of the Week.
Oh, I didn't know the guy that was in Jungle Rot was in Numbskull for a second.
Which one? The thrash Numbskull?
Yeah, the one that went from like thrash to death metal.
I forget the name of that. Is that the one where it's like a church altar or something?
Yeah, Ritually Abused.
Yeah, that one was pretty cool.
Apparently the guy. People don't like it. When Suffering Comes, I would have changed the band name personally.
A dude from Putrid Pile was somehow involved in the band, I think.
I didn't know there was anybody else but the one dude in Putrid Pile.
Maybe I'm thinking of it. Must be the other fucking Numbskull. I don't know.
Oh no, yeah, Sean Lacan was in. It is the guy from fucking Putrid Pile was in Numbskull.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah,
That's probably why they went death metal.
And this is what you get for sticking around, kids.
Damn it.
Get to the bottom of things.
Oh no, he wasn't. Oh, that's weird. He wasn't on the death metal album.
Just kind of there and where it's some. He was there on like
that's
a
strange
demo in '95 or something.
Yeah, Join the Family, Berserk, for one track. Nope, he's not on that either. Hold on, let me just go to Sean.
Was he on?
Yeah, hold on, let me go to his page and then go to see. He was on no releases by Numbskull. He was just in the band for a year, and then 2000 to question mark.
Ace live stuff? Who knows? I don't know.
But yeah, his main thing has always been Putrid Pile, which I've heard he's like a pain to deal with or something.
I don't know. It was awesome seeing him.
It'd be cool to have both him and Sean from Insidious Decrepancy in a band. Or didn't they have a band together that I'm thinking of?
I don't...
Oh, that's what it was. They had that split.
Oh,
the Viral Load Putrid Pile split.
Mm-hmm. But let's see. Just for sake of time, let's get on our final thoughts. Fred, go.
This album is just something that you're not going to hear anywhere else, and it's good.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Fred.
Oh shit!
I thought that was pretty eloquent to me.
No, you're good.
Go ahead, Fred. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it.
No, Paul always throws me under the bus at at this point. So go ahead.
No, but for real, what did you? Oh, okay. Oh, that's the thing I wanted to... I said to Paul earlier that I wanted to do. If I could accomplish one thing with this show, or with this particular episode, it would be... I want to bring this album to light. I want to see if any of the band members can respond, see if we can get some actual tracks, if anybody has the masters, and if anybody, like fucking Hessian Firm, could reissue this. Because I think it deserves the opportunity to be heard by anything other than the way of shitty download on YouTube. Although I will say, do me a favor and kill me. Thank you for uploading this, but the last track has some issues.
Yeah, that was a bad rip, man. That ripped.
I might try looking for a copy, see what comes of it.
Let's try that right now.
Alright, we'll max searching. Dan, go.
Probably don't have too much to say other than what I've already said, but yeah, it's a pretty interesting release. It's got
dang, no copies available.
Each track has a fucking life of its own, dude. I really wanted to not like the circus track because I hate clowns and I hate the circus. But I couldn't help but like it, even though that circus melody to me was kind of annoying, and the bouncy parts were like kind of, I don't know, I feel like they shouldn't work, but somehow I actually like it.
It's not annoying enough.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. I would say if you like Swedish death metal in general, you would probably like this, because even on that D-side track, it reminded me of like the Swedish D-side Eon or Aeon, and even with the melodic stuff, like I said, it sounds like a Cantor's Quintet or Necrophobic or something like that. So you're sort of getting the best of both worlds for like Swedish shit. I think if you're a fan of Swedish shit, you're gonna be a fan of this. Maybe like the like 2 tracks here are the only ones with giant chuggy parts, so you know you get a little bit of that too. Yeah, check out Butcher Shoppe's meat, and you also get a Ren and Stimpy sample. I don't know what else, what more you want.
Yeah, this.
Yeah, it's funny because the. It's funny because the. Listening to the tracks that we listened to. Aside from the very Deicide-ish track, I think the vocals on it made me think of Deicide more than anything else on most of the album. It's just a roller coaster ride, man. Like, this album goes everywhere. But one thing it does above all is just go hard. Like, whatever it's doing, it leans into it so much that you can't not like it. Like, it's a lot of fun. As much as I hate how poorly representative of the complexity of the music of the album cover is, it does represent the band's sense of humor and adventure pretty well. So I'll give it that. I don't know. I wish it had a more fitting cover, but no, just as a interesting project, I might just keep an eye out for a copy and see what comes of it.
Yeah, I'll say
if you find a copy, you have got to shoot us fucking files.
In the head, shoot us in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
do me a favor and kill me.
I'll rip it straight to the lowest quality MP3 I can think of and send it over.
Oh God! Get that old school YouTube compression.
See, that's another thing Mac and Fred have in common. The oh God.
Kindred spirits.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I guess to close off like this album, it took me, you know, what I was expecting with the first track, and then it took me to what I find near and dear perfection in death metal, and then took me to a circus comedy show with the with the samples there, and just the sort of inside jokes that they had with each other, with like making these fucking weird ass experimental sections within these death metal songs, and then just brings you right back to just fast, brutal death metal, like in the vein of Deicide and being as chuggy as Suffocation at times. You know, again, this album reminds me of like God Was Created, but in a much more like, I don't know, like the inappropriate word would be like immature or like retarded way, and like this is like
as if that album isn't retarded.
Yeah, that's like more autistic. This is like more leaning into like some sort of
absurdity.
Syndrome. But yeah, this
Down syndrome.
Yeah, this album gets down. And, and this
oh, man.
just like the whole juxtaposition between the album cover, the song titles it has, as well as you know, the name of the album, You Expect Something Else, and you get a lot more than the meat and potatoes you bargained for, and it's like no one's gonna expect it, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, I don't want to listen to this porno grind, and then they're just missing out on you know, some like top-notch musicianship, and again, without branching into other bands afterward or any other releases before or after this with this band, it's a damn shame, but I mean, we're here today talking about it, so it's worth something.
They did something right.
Mac did something right. He picked it.
Mac did
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done something right.
Well, you can keep doing it right and come back, because you're a great guest.
No, I'm not. I mean, you know, just like John Wick, you know, people keep saying I'm back. But, yeah, no, I intend to come back in full force and be more social again, and hopefully not have any more fucking breakdowns. But then again, that depends on how the world ends up. Sometimes, but you know, I absolutely enjoyed this. This exceeded my expectations. You know, sometimes you get into a place of security, of not wanting to do anything, but then you realize, like, when you start actually getting back to things you love, you remember why you love it. And like, you guys were 1,000% great, and anytime you guys want me on a show or anything like that, you know, just give me a call. This was amazing. Thank you guys.
Hell yeah. Mac is back.
Thank you, Mac.
And that's a fact.
Let's go!